Hey, what's up, guys? Weep Strength here. I got with me today Sarcasm 317,
That's me.
and also got My Hero Deku,
Yo, what's up, y'all?
the usual. All right, now I think a good topic to start this off with would be our top 10 anime. Who wants to go first?
It's up to y'all.
We can go in the order of how they've been sent to the chat.
Oh, this
Okay.
is rigged.
I'll go last then.
Okay. Yeah, no, my top 10's pretty mainstream filled, I want to say. Got My Hero Academia, obviously, kind of took my namesake from it. Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Weathering with You, before anyone kind of judges me on that one. Like the director beforehand, I don't care what anyone says, Weathering with You is better than Your Name. Hajime no Ippo, probably my favorite sports anime. Naruto, definitely just in the place everyone expects. Sword Art Online, or on High School Host Club, High Score Girl, Dr. Stone, and Shield Hero.
Interesting.
So the main one that I would question
Oh no.
is probably the one. Well, I haven't seen a couple of them, but mostly High Score Girl.
Oh, okay. I expected Sword Art Online to get questioned.
Well, of course that's questionable, but
No!
I mean,
No,
I'm
no,
aware
no, no,
that
I
you
take
like
it back.
it.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't say that. Yeah, no, High Score Girl. I just really like that one. It's like a nice, wholesome romance series. You kind of like it starts with them like as like kids, and you kind of watch them grow up and their relationship grow as it goes. It's just really nice to watch.
Mm,
Yeah, have you seen that, Vinny?
no,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
no, it's one of the ones I haven't seen, but I like what little bit of it I have seen, like from like watching the opening and like some stuff like that. It's mostly the CG stuff that throws me off
Yeah, I'm not a big
Yeah,
fan
and
of that.
makes me not want to watch it.
It was a weird mix because I don't think it was like all entirely done in CG. I think some of it was 2D, but then like most of it was CG, and it doesn't really mix well. But I
It
found
really
like the
doesn't.
series in general kind of made up for the art for me at least.
Yeah, I didn't watch it too long ago actually. Uh,
Yeah,
I thought the first season was kind of bland, but I guess after they built up all the characters, the second season was quite a bit better, in my opinion.
that's where I think the series kind of thrives. Is it's just able to build off itself off that first season, set a really good ground base to do more with it in the second season.
I like the blonde hair girl better than the main girl.
I did too. I did too. I don't dislike Ono, but like she doesn't talk, man.
No. And I kind of like how in the second season it was a bit more mature, like
Yeah, no,
in the content, and also how she was like super thirsty for him, like hella thirsty.
Jesus.
They're still minors. I don't know if you could say that, Schultz.
Are they?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are. They're in high school.
Oh, I thought. Yeah, I mean they're like
High school's
17.
higher school. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't
Oh,
know.
God. Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, no. I feel like that's kind of part of the charm of it, though. It felt like the story itself grew up with the characters. It's like they were kids in the first season.
Yeah.
So it kind of made sense. It would be more like, I don't want to say not proper romance wise, but yeah, no, not proper romance wise.
Yeah, it's a good romance. It's definitely in my top 10 for like slice of life romance.
Bro, I remember you were dogging on it after the first season at first. And
It
I was
was
starting to get
bad.
really worried.
The
Yeah,
first
no, I
season was not
starting to get
that
worried.
good. It was a big increase in quality for me. Not even like art or animation quality. It's just like the content was so much better in the second season for me.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. Yeah, but if any, do you want to move on to your top 10?
Before you dog
I
on mine
suppose.
anymore, hold on. Let's shift the focus to somebody else. We'll go
I'm
back.
definitely not changing the topic.
It's fine. We can go back to it. All right, Vinny. You want to
Oh,
tell your
no.
top 10?
Well, of course, number 1 is Gintama. Okay, that's
Of
easy.
course. Gintoki.
Then Naruto Shippuden specifically. Okay, because
Oh, I should
the
have
original
specified that.
was kinda
Don't you
mid.
dare.
Kind of cheeks.
I don't want to hear it.
Kind of mid. All right.
No,
Lots of filler.
my heart.
Shippuden was nice though. Okay.
I agree.
Then number 3, you got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, of course. It's just, and I don't even there's no words to describe. Right?
Bad.
Schultz hates on it though, and that's
cool,
just
man.
not right.
Yeah, no, it's really not right.
All right, number 4, we got Bakuman. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the best way to pronounce it, but that's the way
That's how
I
I've
did.
always pronounced it.
Then I guess my favorite sports anime, Diamond no Ace. Then Genosagi, or Silver Spoon, whatever you want to call it. Then Working. Then Inuyasha, the classic. Then another sports anime, in Haikyuu.
The best
And
one.
then another sports anime in Cross Game. I don't know if you guys noticed a pattern or anything, but
I
There
don't know
you
what you're
go.
talking about.
You like sports anime and shonen.
a little bit.
Just a little bit. There's plenty of variety there.
See, okay, now the thing with yours for me is for Deku, at least I've seen 9 out of his 10. I don't agree with all of them, but actually there's one we share one placement for the same place in anime, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for yours, I've only seen what 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen 4 of your shows.
Yeah, and you just recently watched one of them.
And it was good. It was really good.
Exactly.
Not good enough to crack my top 10, but it was really good.
I've seen
That's just
Oh, sorry.
blasphemy. Whatever.
Besides that, I don't really have anything to say about yours, though. I mean, I haven't seen much of it, so I can't really comment. And what you have there is, they're all good. I like all the stuff you have there.
I do just want to ask because like you do have a lot of, as we were talking about before we started recording, shoujo like manga on your favorites manga list. Inuyasha kind of like sits in the middle between shonen and shoujo. Do you think that's why it broke the top 10?
Inuyasha, I just really I don't know what it was. I just got really invested in the characters. It was probably because it was long. And then the sequel, the final act or whatever, was just like,
Is that good? I think that means that's good.
Yeah, it was pretty great. It was pretty great.
It's in
And
this
I
top
actually
10.
like, it's one of the few anime where like, okay, I can't really say much because it's obviously spoilers, but like, there was one point where I wanted to throw hands, and it's like if I got that emotional about it, basically, it has to be in my favorites.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Emotional investment's important.
That is true.
Like Sorted Online.
Okay, that's a
I don't
whole
know.
different type
I don't
of
know about
emotion.
the. Yeah. I don't know if I was invested like emotionally in that show. I definitely was when I first watched it. But
I refuse to rewatch it. I don't want to know.
yeah, I've watched it like 6 times, so
I know I'm looking back at it with rose-tinted goggles. I don't want to fix that.
I think it holds up. It's still the same score as I gave it when I watched it.
A 10.
At 8.
I'm pretty sure even when I did, like right when I watched it, I'm pretty sure I still gave it like a 7 or an 8.
Dang.
Wow. Oh,
And
That's
then
what I
like
gave it.
as I progressed,
don't.
I was
No.
like, man, that was
No.
actually cheeks.
No.
Sad.
No. My heart.
I don't know. When you start seeing an anime that's like actually good, it's just a whole different experience.
Actually good. I've seen plenty, man. Yeah, no. I will say, and this is kind of minor spoilers for the newest season. Can we
Alright.
stop getting a tentacle scene in every season, please?
A what
please?
scene?
tentacles.
Oh, yeah, and like, I mean, I haven't seen any of the Underworld stuff, but they are like 4 for 4 for rape scenes for every season.
Oh, don't worry. They
Oh my
made sure to meet their
God.
quota in the first episode of this season.
Yeah.
See, that was one of my biggest problems with the first.
That's my biggest
season.
problem as well. It's so okay. I was honestly fine with it the first time because, like, I mean, you're supposed to hate the villain. Okay,
Yeah, I think it
makes
did a
sense.
good
We're
job.
supposed to hate-
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I watched it,
But they
yeah,
kept doing it.
yeah.
Like, it kind of
Yeah,
loses
I think
its impact.
once
It's
was
not-
more than enough for me. I don't know.
Exactly. It
No.
stopped like feeling like creative or like good character writing and started feeling like a cop out or a trope after like at most the second time, and even that's pushing it. I would have stopped after the first time.
Well, the thing with me for like it was the first Alpha arc where she gets trapped because of after they get out of the game, he like kept her brain in there, right? That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think at the time, like when my like 13-year-old mind was like, oh my god, I can't wait till Kirito destroys this dude. I was like, it was just like so, it just felt so good when it happened
did.
because of the how awful of a person he was. Even though as a villain, he's like really bland. Just his motivations were kind of ridiculous.
His motivations didn't exist.
I know.
I want to
it's like-
marry her to take over a company, so I will
Yeah.
kidnap her in a game.
It was kind of dumb, but it felt so what's the word I'm looking for? Like it just
Gratifying?
it just felt so good.
Yeah.
It felt like amazing when he got his like head chopped off and his sword in his eye, and I don't know.
Had the pain setting up. Don't forget the pain setting was up.
Even though the way he did that was kind of ridiculous with the ghost and everything, but
Kyokai, but just
that
won't go away,
that part
man.
is ridiculous too. But you know what? I still like the show. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. There's so many issues with it, and for some reason, there it is, still sitting at the 6th spot on my top 10. I don't know, man. I still love it. I don't know why, but I do. I'm staring at my mouse pad right now, which is an SAO mouse pad. And, yeah.
Well, a bad anime in your top 10. I think that's a good way to segue into my top 10.
Oh no.
All right.
Hunter x Hunter.
No, hold on. Hold on. Can I get started? Damn. Hold up. Okay. So, I think for my top 2, these could really be either way. Right now, I've got Haikyuu as my number 1, but honestly, I think I'd put Hunter x Hunter there. I think Hunter x Hunter is the greatest anime of all time. I can say that.
Whoa.
I can say that with
Hold on,
confidence.
play.
I can say that with confidence. It has the best
You're
power
wrong.
system in an anime ever. It has,
No.
you know,
Nice.
for how good of a show it is, it kind of, I think the cast is one of the weaker parts of the show, the main cast that is, but it still manages to have some of the best villains ever.
I mean, I can agree with that. I've made it pretty clear, like, the cast is, like, the most important selling point in a series for me, and I did not like the Hunter x Hunter cast at all.
That's fair. I mean, I still think Gon and Killua are top tier characters. I just think for how high I have it, it is
I
one
do
of the
think
lower casts.
that, like, they're really good characters. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that top tier that you need for a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's weird because I think the characters are well written. I just couldn't get invested in them. I will say though, Killua is like a better Sasuke. If there was like a death battle between Sasuke and Killua, I would be rooting for Killua.
For sure. And I mean, a lot of people say Gon is a bland protagonist. He's just like the generic, oh, I'm just an innocent boy, but
I feel like based on the way that stuff happened towards the end, I'm not going to say anything.
yeah.
But the way things happen towards the end, he's probably not going to be as nice and upbeat as he used to be, I guess.
No, I mean, even after that stuff happens, once he gets healed, he seems normal and everything, and I haven't read the manga. And actually, I hear that in the manga, it switches from him to other people. Like, he's not in the story anymore after this, really.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
I haven't looked at the manga at all.
I don't want to say
I'm
nothing.
just praying that they eventually adapt more of it.
Oh, please, please.
The author needs to actually be writing first.
Yeah, I hear he's
Pretty
got
much.
he's in really bad health,
I
so
mean,
it's hard
there's
for him to
still-
write.
It'll take
Yeah.
a month off, and then he'll write his chapter, and then take another month off.
A 1 month, more like he'll take a whole year off and then he'll write a chapter.
And I mean, I guess there's nothing you can do about bad health, but yeah, it still, I think, hurts the series that it's. I think
Yeah.
it'd be as popular and like well loved as it is. I think it'd be higher up if it weren't for that.
Well, one thing I saw is that he was trying to compete with One Piece when he was. I don't know if it. When was the first show? Was it 99?
I do
It
not
was
remember.
early.
When did One
I don't
Piece
know
air?
if it was. I don't know if it was before 2000 though.
When? No, it's Hunter x Hunter 1999. I think that's the when it aired. I think that is when it aired.
You would know better than I would.
Do you guys know when One Piece aired? I think it was just 1 year away from One Piece.
I do know. I think last year was One Piece's 20th anniversary,
Yeah.
maybe, or the anime's 20th anniversary, not
But-
One Piece overall.
They started pretty
Oh,
close
yeah,
to
it
each
did.
other, and it was supposed to like continue with it, but he stopped writing as much and stuff.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
feel like-
original was in. It started at the end of 1999.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways, we got distracted. I should move on. At number 2, this is the other show that they're like neck and neck for me. Haikyuu. Oh my god, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just the cast is amazing, the growth of each character. I love overpowered characters in anime. Just like characters that have an edge and they're just like above everybody else. And you'll see that as I go down, and seeing these two rookies that are like carrying this team, like they're the main people on this team, is just it scratches an itch for me. And just the scenes in it, like just the moments that happen in it, I get goosebumps thinking about it sometimes.
I can just you talk about how you watch it in like low quality though, and I feel like you just appreciate it more if you watched it in like 1080p.
Exactly.
Iconic.
Well animated as well.
Yeah, I mean I watched
It's
it.
got like top tier animation, and it's crazy that you can't even appreciate it because of the quality you're watching.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I watched it on 720p.
Oh, well, thank God, 720p.
I've watched it twice. I'm pretty sure one of those was at
720
least
is fine.
720.
Yeah,
720 is,
720
is more than
I thought
good
you
enough.
watched it on like 360 or 480.
No,
was just
I don't
like,
even. They
"Man."
probably won't even let you watch
He's
that
missing
show
out.
that low. Like this, they probably don't have like. It's illegal to watch it on that lower quality.
I watched the Naruto episodes on that quality at one point, and it
I have
it
too.
was
The
interesting.
lowest I think is acceptable to watch on is 480 because otherwise it's too low quality to appreciate anything.
I think I watched a
Yeah.
Shippuden episode on like 240 once.
I mean, and like anime is supposed to be a visual medium. Once you start losing the ability to see the visuals, I feel like you're just missing out.
You see, that's
Like
not,
if your internet's too slow for 480 though, it's like really really slow.
well, Deku. This is something I want to get into later, but for me,
Uh-oh.
animation and art isn't a huge deal when it comes to the anime. It's actually, we'll get into this later. I'll make sure we bring this up later after I finish talking about this. Okay, so anyways, Haikyuu is second. I've got Overlord as my third, which this was my number one up until recently. Even though I watched Haikyuu and Hunter x Hunter, I still had Overlord over these two until I watched it for like the 8th time.
I like
The
Overlord
8th
better
time
than
was
Hunter x
when
Hunter.
you just realized like nah man.
It's like nah. And then I also rewatched Hunter x Hunter and Haikyuu, but Overlord for me, as I said, I like overpowered protagonists, and you can't get more overpowered than Ainzul Gon and his all the people in Nazarick. I think it's also another example of just a great cast in a show. And I really like
yeah.
world building and like city building and government building in anime, and there's not a lot out there that do it very well, but I think that Overlord is one of those that does it justice. It's just that I feel like the author gets too excited and he wants to keep introducing new stuff, and then he won't mention other stuff. So even in the light novels, he's mentioning these new things, and like he's not finishing, he's not tying up these loose ends. Like he's gonna wait till later to do it, but he's got so much stuff piled up now that it's like did he forget about it, or is it gonna come up later, or was it irrelevant? What is it? That's my only problem with
Anything is possible.
Yeah, that's probably the only
Yeah,
problem I
I
have with
definitely
it.
say Overlord's cast carried it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree with y'all there. I actually didn't like the Overlord cast that much outside
I
of
loved
mine.
the cast.
I did too.
Well, I liked what's his name? The butler.
Sebas, 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 however you say that.
Davis. Oh, yeah, I like those two. And other than that, I didn't dislike any of them. I will say I think like as an ensemble, they all played off each other really well. But like if I took them individually, I don't think I have like many standout characters on their own, if that makes sense. So as a cast, I think they're great, but on their own as characters, I don't know if I like them as much.
That's fair.
I don't know. The cast for me was definitely the strongest part, just because like I don't know, the art and animation is fine. It's nothing like there's nothing bad about it, but there's also nothing that I'm just like, wow, that was absolutely insane. But
no, they had that. Oh, sorry.
well, the cast, I just like the cast a lot because like I ended up giving like every season a 7, but it was mostly because it's not because I didn't enjoy it, but I felt like it almost felt like nothing really happened in like any other season.
That's
like
fair. Okay, I'm gonna defend it a little bit there. One thing I will say about the anime, after reading the light novels, the anime is a really bad adaptation. Like, the stuff that happens is pretty one for one. It's just that it just doesn't feel like in the light novels, it almost feels like horror, like a horror anime, like a horror novel, because the way that the words are described and everything is like gruesome, and the artwork is amazingly like gory, and then the anime is just kind of bland. And I don't want to say the voice actors did a bad job. It's just like the dialogue that they're given isn't the same. It's just not as, I don't know, it just feels different. And then they don't explain a lot of stuff, which I guess a lot of adaptations don't do that because they don't have time. I mean, it was like they fit 9 light novels into 3 seasons or something. It, like they put a lot of content into those. And
yeah, they might have just made a mistake in the way that they adapted Overlord. They might have just done it too early or something. Like they should have probably made them like longer seasons or something.
They should have. I think it would have shined better. And I mean, I still love it. I mean, it's my 3rd favorite anime of all time. It's just I've realized over time.
It's definitely really enjoyable still.
Yeah, I think the fight scene. Most of the fight scenes, like season 2, when Sivas like destroys all those like the strongest people in the world in like 3 seconds. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing how much it's like one of those worlds where it's probably the world with the cast is like infinitely stronger than the rest of the world. I think it is an anime where the cast is. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. You guys know what I'm talking about?
The most overpowered main cast ever,
Yeah,
basically.
I guess that would be how I'd say it. Yeah.
Outclasses everyone.
Oh yes, and I mean, you know what? And I think the one close fight, like the one actually like kind of long fight, was probably my least enjoyable, and that was the Shaltier and Ainz fight.
I didn't.
Well, yeah, it was
Oh.
it was an inside fight basically between the overpowered cast.
Mhm.
So of course it'd be more close.
And in the light novel, they don't explain any further on who did that or what happened either. So, rip.
They might just be setting it up for later still, but I just feel like that's like crazy to set it up that early on.
You can't just not expand on that. I would hope, right?
Because it's basically building it up to be like, wow, there's like somebody out there that's strong enough to do that. And then you just never hear about it again.
It's someone from the actual world. It's not a player. I don't think there is a player. I think he's the only one. They do have like a cult or whatever, if I remember correctly. That's like that was they were a part of the what is the word? The slain theocracies. They were one of their they were their strongest unit. I don't remember what they were called. It did explain that. Because the girl with the Rubik's Cube at the beginning of season 2, if y'all remember that, probably not. I know like every scene in the show. Yeah. She's like, oh, if I need to find someone that's stronger than me to impregnate me, even if it's not human. I don't remember.
I do remember that now.
Okay,
Just because you said that, I remember now.
The girl with the black and white hair. The black and white
so
hair.
ridiculous.
As one does.
And she's never brought back up. Even up to like chapter 13 in the light novel, she's not brought back up.
Yeah, he might just be too ambitious with what he's trying to do with the world.
I think
it's a massive scale.
Yeah, if he wants to tie up his loose ends, then he's gonna have to make like double the amount of books that he's made over like 8 years or whatever.
I feel like he might run into the
sounds like he wants some One Piece type.
Yeah, and if he goes
like,
on, if he keeps going on, like his books have been getting longer and longer. I think like I haven't read the newest one that just came out, but the one before that, those two together were like the length of the first 6 or 7 novels. Like it was insane. Like they were really long, and that was just one thing they were talking about. Anyways, okay, we've been talking about Overlord long enough. Sorry. Okay. Fourth one. I've got Steins Gate there. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you've seen it, it's a great show. I mean, it's so well written. It's so well written.
Yeah.
And I think it is the show that has handled time travel by far the best. There's not a show that's even close that's handled time travel.
I can't even think of another time travel show because people usually don't try to tackle that because it's not easy.
No.
Well, I mean, I've seen people tackle it, but it's usually like superheroes, like, oh, we've got to go back in time to fix it. And that's like
there's been stuff like Dragon Ball kind of used it a little bit, but didn't they also? Wasn't it kind of like an alternate universe type of thing?
Yeah.
It wasn't even necessarily time travel.
I haven't even seen
like,
Dragon Ball.
Like very few series, even outside of anime, that like try and tackle time travel like in the way they did. Like, I don't want to say a scientific approach solely because it's still anime, but like
but it's more realistic. Explanation, I guess.
I felt myself being about as invested as I could ever imagine myself being invested in time travel with Steins Gate.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is that it's like a slow cook. Like I wasn't a huge fan of the first half.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one of those people that once I get something in my head, I'm like, oh, this show isn't that good. This show isn't that good. It's really hard for me to like turn that around because once I've got that thought in my head, even if it turns out being good, I'm like, it wasn't as good as people were saying it was. But this show is definitely one that it just completely flipped, because at first I was not that invested in it. I didn't think the characters were that great, and I don't even remember where it happened. Like I just zoomed through the second half of the show and I was like, what? I was like, what? I'm not even talking about Zero, I'm just talking about Steins Gate here. I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing.
I didn't watch Zero, but like the main reason I haven't watched Zero or anything else on it is because I liked the happy ending.
You get
so
a happy
if I
ending.
go,
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you probably do still, but I'm saying like if I do watch anything else, it's like, oh man, I'm just acting like the happy ending didn't happen.
Okay, Steins Gate spoilers coming up. If you guys haven't watched it, cover your ears for a little bit, just for a little bit. So Zero takes place after. It's what happens if he doesn't decide to go back after, you know how he stabs her the first time or whatever to save whatever her name is. But that's amazing, by the way. He doesn't go back to save Makise because he's like, I got the person that I wanted to save, so that's it, that's done with. And so he keeps going on, and it's like a year, I don't remember how much longer later, and they never met. But I mean, you know, she's dead. She died because he killed her, and he's just like living with this grief. And I'm not gonna say anything else, but it's after that, and he ends up looping all the way back to the good ending somehow. And it was just like there was no point to this because it ended up at the exact same point as the last 10 minutes of the first show. Like and it was awful. It was like, he was so much worse a character.
People liked like 0.
It was
I was
still
about to
good.
say-
Yeah, it was still good. It's just it was irritating because there was no point for it. They just ended up back where they started, and you just went
They
through
end up
all
back
of
where
this.
they started. I'm giving that a 5 or 6, dude. I'm gonna be honest. That'd be the part that just breaks it for me. I'd be
Well-
like, nah, I did not just waste 6 hours on this.
Well, everyone. Okay, I don't want to ruin it. It's not exactly. He's a different person, but yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah, I guess technically, yeah, he would have experienced all that still, but like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, man, really?
It's sad. It's
Yeah.
like all this grief for nothing. He could have avoided it if he just took the good ending.
I kind of liked it, honestly.
You did?
I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the original.
No, yeah,
If
I
you were-
liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, I liked seeing the just like the grief Okabe had to go through because like you were saying, just making that choice. I found it interesting, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen a different ending, even if it wasn't a more different ending.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't as happy an ending, just for the sake of it being different.
If you're gonna go down a route that's not the happy ending, you might as well make it sad.
Exactly, especially with all the grief he was dealing with, like the whole time, and they kind
do
of was.
something
Yeah.
profound. Like, don't just be like, oh, he learned his lesson.
It's
now
not
he gets another
exactly like
chance.
that. It's not. His lesson was don't be a pussy. That's what his lesson. Because it's not really a
Basically.
lesson. It's not really a lesson.
Language.
He's just and some of the stuff he went through in the second season is crazy. But anyways,
Yeah.
okay, let's move on now.
Ugh.
Fifth, this one's a little questionable. I think most people might look at
Oh,
this and be
yeah,
like,
for
"What?"
This is your SAO.
It's
Don
easily-
Machi.
Easily the most questionable on it.
Now, Don
Yeah.
Machi is, it's got some of my favorite fight scenes in anime, and I can't.
I don't know how that's
it also,
possible.
It
because
also
I don't
has.
either.
it's so
It
mid.
also has my best girl in anime, Hestia.
Okay,
Hestia.
Okay.
Okay,
Hesty's
so it was the
fine
white rope.
and
He
all,
said,
but,
"Go
like,
on." He said,
that's
"Go on."
Not even a top 5.
Okay, but listen,
Oh,
now that I've rewatched it a couple times, I'd probably move it. I probably wouldn't even have it in my top 10 anymore because this isn't as updated. It's just I don't know what I'd put there instead, but I still love this show, even though the prequel and the second season weren't that great.
I thought the second season was all right.
It was all right.
But the
It
second
wasn't.
season was without a doubt worse.
It wasn't. It definitely wasn't as good as
Yeah.
the first season for me, especially how fast paced everything was. But the first season, okay, so that Minotaur fight, bro, that Minotaur fight is insane. Like it's not
The
even
one from like the first 2 episodes.
No.
No.
The last fight, I
Okay,
think, is what
I
you're
was
talking
like,
about.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
I
not
was
not
like-
the one when he becomes level 2.
Okay, that's a lot more fair. I was
Yeah.
about to say that was not.
It's just so hype because it's like he's challenging this thing that is like it should be impossible, and it's just done so well. And how all these people that doubted him are watching it.
I mean,
It's
I
like-
still ended up giving the first season a 7. I was like, yeah, this is decent.
Yeah,
I think I have both seasons at a 7.
I just love the world. Like I don't know, I just love that fantasy aspect and like how they treat it. It's almost like a game. Like it's like game mechanics in a. I don't
I mean,
know.
yeah, the world's interesting to me. It's just, I don't know. I don't think they've executed it all that well. For me,
No.
anyway.
It's
I
probably
definitely don't
yeah.
think they didn't go anywhere I wanted them to go with it.
Yeah, I gave the second season a 5. I was not pleased.
Okay, it does have the best OVA in an anime though. So
I don't watch most OVAs.
On a
So.
minute. That's absolute cap.
it's
Didn't you
really
make a
good.
similar claim last episode of the podcast,
No,
Schultz?
I said High School of the Dead has a very good OVA. I might have. Okay,
No,
don't. Okay,
I don't
they're both
know.
really good. They're both 10s. I've only given 3 OVAs 10s. It was High School of the Dead, Don Machi, and Steins Gate OVA. But the Steins Gate OVA wasn't because of ecchi. It was just actually good. These 2 are because
Yeah.
the ecchi was so
Yeah,
good.
OVA was
I had to put a disclaimer there.
Well,
Okay,
it's very out of character.
okay. So I mean, the part where it's dissolving his clothes and it's like the reverse. Usually, it's like the girl's clothes are dissolving, and then the dude is like gets the nosebleed. But Hestia is the one that gets the nosebleed.
What Schultz is saying is it's got that bisexual action.
No. No, it doesn't
Oh,
show
no, that's what
anything.
I'm
It's just the
hearing.
action of it happening, and that's not even.
My
That's just one
takeaway
part that I
was
think's
that he
funny.
managed to give out 3 tens to OVAs. Was my takeaway.
I mean, I think I've given out at least that many tens to OVAs solely because of the two My Hero Academia
Yeah.
OVAs. I gave them
Okay.
a 10 out of principle.
It's one episode, so you gotta rate it on enjoyment in that one episode. It's not like I
I
count
mean,
that
I
towards my
usually give them a
tens.
1.
Okay, I don't count that towards my tens. I just happen to give the. Okay, I didn't give High School of the Dead a 10. I give the other two a 10 though.
Yeah, no, that's
No,
fair.
I've never given out a 10 to an OVA. I don't watch OVAs very often.
I don't either.
And even when I do, I usually don't even put them on my list.
I usually only watch an OVA if it's a direct like sequel, like what Schultz was talking about with the Steins Gate OVA, or
It's not really a direct sequel. It's just kind of.
well, it's like
it's
still
extra.
connected.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still connected. I don't. You could count it as canon, but it's just like a side story.
It felt connected at least. I don't like when they feel like I've watched I don't even think I added this to my list either. I watched the SAO OVAs, or at least one of them, and it was
didn't.
so pointless. I don't like OVAs like that usually, so I'll only watch it if I really like the series or if I feel like it adds to the story from what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Okay, enough about
Like, I
Don
think-
Machi. What were you gonna say? You finished what you were gonna say, but we're done talking about Don Machi now.
I was about to say, I think Hajime no Ippo has like 2 movies that weren't long enough to be movies, so they got counted as OVAs, which you can't skip.
Yeah, I'll have to
So
watch
like in a
those.
case like that, obviously I'm gonna watch those, but well, you can skip them, but you're technically skipping like manga content that way. Anyway, that was kind
I
of
don't
off
remember
on
if
a
I watched
tangent.
those or not, to be honest. I watched the movie. It was like actually a movie.
Yeah, I think one of them's a movie and one of them's an OV. Because like
I think
one
it
was
was
Ippo, and like wasn't
it
it
was
that
about
doctor?
Takamura, right?
Yeah, and then the other was about
Yeah.
Takamura.
Okay.
Takuma is a beast.
Takamura
Oh, he's
is
a beast. He actually is like I don't know why, but I feel like he's the character that grew on me the most over the course
he
of the
feels
show.
like he feels
No
kind of. Well, I
spoilers,
guess he is.
though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm
gonna
watching it right
skip
now,
my
so
mouth.
no spoilers.
All right. So you want to get into that now, Sar?
What?
Hajime no Ippo.
No, la 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 la.
We
Can't
gotta
hear
move
la,
on
la,
to
la, la.
number. We gotta move on to number 6 of his list now.
All right, number 6 we got Gurren Lagann. It's been a while since I've seen this. I've been planning on rewatching it. It's the best mecha that I've seen by far. Like the only one that's even close to this is Code Geass. And
I think Code Geass is my favorite mecha.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me. A lot of people say that, and I honestly I can't be mad because I still really like it. But Gurren Lagann's on a different level for me. It's one of the first episodes that made me actually like think. It made me like think about life. It's hard to explain. I mean, it was a while ago that I watched this too. I was like 14, I think, and it just like it was probably the saddest ending to a show I'd seen at the time.
Yeah, I've only seen
Yeah.
one mecha anime, and it was Code Geass, and it was super mid. I'm one of the few that think that way about Code Geass.
That hurts. That hurts a lot.
But yeah, I gave it like a 6. I just thought it tried to do way too much. I mean, all I hear is that the second season is way better.
Oh, you only watched
the
the first
first?
season?
Wait, have you not?
I only watched
the
the first because I wasn't really that into it.
I
So
gave it like
just
a
never
6
got around
after
to
the
watching the
first
second.
season. I had it at like a 6 after the first season.
That's what I gave it after the first
Yeah.
season.
I have it at like a 10 now after the second season. It takes a big jump.
Yeah, I need to rewatch them. I just remember it being pretty slow, and then once it starts to pick up, it's like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think you have to look at the first season of Code Geass as like an epilogue to the actual Code Geass story, which sounds stupid because it's a 2-part series, which is more than a lot of series get for their entire run, but it really does build on it well, I feel like.
Well, I'll probably end up watching it at some point. I wasn't interested in it because I gave it a 6. Of course, I just was like, eh.
One thing I
Oh,
will say
I
about
feel
that
ya.
show is that C2 is kind of overrated.
I agree, but I was uncomfortable with
She's like the only reason I watched the show.
that's all I'm gonna to say. I was just uncomfortable watching Colin for pretty obvious reasons.
Okay, at number 7, a newer show, Vinland Saga. Oh my god, I love this show. I love this show so much. Thorkel is one of my favorite characters ever. He's just like...
He's a really cool character.
He's like a god.
I just think they had a really good cast, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Too, except for the main character, yeah.
Yeah.
The main character is that type that, like, just has to go through a ton of development before you really appreciate them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't care about Thorfinn right now, but I do feel like by the end of season 1 I care about him more than I did at the start, so that's something.
Yeah, I agree. He's just one of those characters I'm not
After what just happened at the end, without saying anything, it's pretty new anime, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, after what happened at the end, I feel like there has to be quite a bit of development for him.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he basically went through the same, like, again, not trying to spoil it specifically, but the same traumatic
sort of.
experience that, like...
Yeah.
Even though he might not, he took it for granted.
He'll never admit
probably.
it, but
No.
it's kind of hard to deny.
This is such a good show. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm just gonna say it's a really good show.
That one's a hard recommend.
Yes. All of these are hard recommends.
Like Sword Art Online and Don Machi.
Alright, next. I got AOT at 8, Attack on Titan. This show is probably, it was one of my first like 10 anime that I watched. I watched the first season, and it's one of those shows like Sword Art Online that I was like, next season, when's the next season coming out? When's the next season coming out? And I've rewatched it every time a new season has come out, and it holds up just as good. The first season is kind of slow to me, but I think the other seasons have done a better job. I think that it's hard to explain. It's like not a lot happens. It feels like it's more a lot of suspense, and in the other seasons it's more action. Like it's I wouldn't say filler, but
season 3 part 1 was like the least amount of action in any of the seasons. That's what I was
gonna say.
Well, because there's no Titans, but
story building.
Yeah,
like,
but it's different than the first season though too.
So since you'll do videos based on openings a lot, I just want to say on the record that I think Red Swan was the best Attack on Titan opening.
It definitely wasn't bad. It just didn't give the same vibes. Was what a lot of people had an issue with.
Isn't that the real slow one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Season 3 part 1 or season 3 part 2? I don't remember.
It was part 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that the one where it's like the ending is like sayonara?
I don't remember the ending.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what was said at the end of the song.
No, the ending. The ending. That's how it starts. Oh. And it's like them 3 as kids.
The ending is like really, really slow, and then gets like pretty hype. I think, because I think it's actually by Linked Horizon still. The ending is anyway.
Well, I think they all have decent openings and endings.
I've yet to see like a bad opening from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I don't know. The last one might have been the worst, to be honest.
I think the last one tried to like, and I could be wrong here, but this is just what I felt about it. It felt like it was trying to combine all the openings into one, which just
I don't know. I just didn't like it all that much. I definitely liked it less than Red Swan.
I liked it. It was definitely my least favorite, but I didn't think it was bad either. Like in most series, I can pick out an opening where like, yeah, I didn't like this one at all. I don't have the same opinion with that one. It's just meh.
Yeah, I mean, I think after hearing the first one a million times, I think it's kind of meh now too. But I'd say it's at least decent.
Oh, that's a hot take.
I think they're all decent. Like, I don't think any of them are much better than the others. Like, they're all, like, 6s or 7s for me.
6s or 7? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not a single Attack on Titan opening that I took out of it, like, man, this is playlist worthy right here.
No. Well, I did say that about the first one.
Playlist.
Yeah, I had the first opening in my playlist, but I guess after hearing it 10 million times, I'm like, no, it's not a bop anymore, sorry.
I liked, I forget the name of the first opening. I liked it for a while, but it felt like it became, like, not just the anthem for Attack on Titan fans. There was, like, a period of, like, 2 or 3 years where I feel like it was, like, the anthem just, like, of just the weeb community in general, and it got overplayed that way.
Kind of like the Tokyo Ghoul opening.
Nah, man, the Tokyo Ghoul opening is timeless. Fight me.
It's
I can't even
definitely
think of the
super
name
overplayed,
of
but the
it.
Tokyo Ghoul opening still slaps.
What's the name of it
Exactly.
again?
So good.
Unravel.
Yeah. I just thought of it as soon as you said it. Yeah, Unravel is, I like it better, but it's still like overplayed for me for
Oh
sure.
yeah, it's way overplayed. Like possibly the most overplayed anime song of all time.
It's up there. It's very up there.
But-
On the top. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, I'm just gonna change the subject. So say what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say, on the topic of Tokyo Ghoul, knowing that it's outside of the top 10, but using the excuse of it used to be in my top 10 before Re happened, I want to make it very abundantly clear that Tokyo Ghoul is the sole reason I hate Period as a studio. I don't care how much good they did for Naruto, or how well they did with the first season. I still stand by. The Tokyo Ghoul manga, I don't care for the story near the end for Re either, but they did a really good job with the characters, which got so lost in the anime, and it annoys me to no end.
Yeah, I don't think Tokyo Ghoul is a great adaptation, and it just gets worse and worse as it goes on.
Oh yeah, it just. Oh my god, I had to
was a-
drop Re.
yeah.
I literally couldn't. I couldn't do it.
It was a decent first season.
Yeah.
A meh at best second season, because it was. I enjoyed Rude. It felt like I took it separate from the manga and just accepted they were doing something else. Then they come back with Re and act like they didn't skip a bunch of manga content to make Rude. I don't know. And they were still, bro. I remember because I had already read the manga for Tokyo Ghoul, like caught up to it by the time Re had started, because I really liked the first season of the anime. But like, I remember distinctly like one episode of the second season of Re adapted like 20 chapters in one episode, and that's when I was just realizing, yeah, there's no redemption arc for this anime.
That's funny. But back on Attack on Titan. So you know how they've been. I think that show is the best at like building up these big reveals. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think season 3 part 2 had the biggest reveal in anime history, with telling us what is actually outside the walls. And I'm not gonna say anything about that, but I think sadly, I mean, I think it was really good. I still liked the reveal, but for how much they hyped it up and how much they built it up, it was kind of underwhelming for me. Like, I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's that? I was like, well, I don't know what I was expecting. Like, aliens? Like, literally, like, I couldn't my imagination couldn't think of something that was big enough. Like, I was like, it can't be this.
Like
It can't
it
be
got
this.
so much hype that you literally couldn't imagine anything, and
No.
then it finally happens, and you're like, wow. I don't know what I was expecting, but my
It's
god.
not bad.
Yeah. Like, I still liked it. I still loved that season. It was probably my second favorite season after season 2. But, like, it wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it'd be.
That's fair.
What do y'all
I
think
can see
about that?
I can see that.
I don't know. I didn't give it a 10.
I didn't
So-
either. I almost did. I was really, really close to giving it a 10, but I didn't.
I
No,
gave
still
it a
gave
10.
it a 9.
Like, initially I gave it a 10, and then I think I bumped it back down to like a 9 or an 8, like, I want to say like a month or two after it ended, just because I was kind of ironically reflecting on the exact same thing you were saying, Schultz. Like, I really liked it, and I don't want this to really be taken as a criticism, because it's honestly not. It was still a great season, and there are
Mhm.
like a lot of really good moments in it, but yeah, no, it just, I don't know. I feel like I got my expectations set too high.
Way too high. I mean, it was like, like, as I was watching it, it was kind of like, I didn't realize what was happening. Like, I didn't realize they were actually telling me what was like what I'd been waiting like 7 years to hear, and then I heard it, and I was like, oh, okay
Oh,
then.
really?
Okay
Yeah,
then.
That's it. Okay.
Like, I kind of had to do a double take.
See, now this is why you always like SAO. You know you're getting your tentacle scene every season.
You know you're
what
getting
to
your rape
expect.
scene.
Know exactly what to expect.
You know what you're getting into.
It's honestly been so long since I've given out a 10 that I don't even know what it takes to get a 10 from me.
That's
anymore.
exactly how I was until I watched Steins Gate. It'd been over a year and a half since I'd given a 10. And then I was like, I guess
Aside
I'm
from,
never
like,
going to have
the
a 10
sequels
again.
To, like, the anime I already like, which actually hasn't happened because I gave the newest season of IQ a 9, I think, because it just
How did that
wasn't. It
happen?
wasn't on the same level.
Sad.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's
That's not a
mostly
bad
because
year.
they just did a split. Like, if they
Oh.
had just done the whole season together instead of having a part 2, I would have given the whole thing a 10 probably. Because
Yeah.
honestly, this next season's gonna be amazing. But
That's why I'm waiting. That's why I'm waiting to watch it all at once.
they
I
also
might
left
do
you
that
on
too.
like the biggest cliffhanger possible.
Yeah.
So
That's why I don't
I'm
watch
just like,
seasonal
man,
anime. That's why I don't watch
You
seasonal
really
anime.
cucked me here.
I mean, you're watching God of High School this season, right, Schultz?
Yeah. Whoa, I am. That's crazy. How'd you know that?
I mean, if you guys want to check it out.
It might be the reaction video to that might be up soon.
Yeah.
Probably up before
Okay.
this one is.
Possibly.
Possibly. Like a 95% chance.
But yeah, the only one I've been close to giving a 10 recently was, I don't know, it might have been Demon Slayer. But I was definitely caught up in the moment with that one.
Yeah, I was debating an 8 or a 9 on that one.
I still
I
gave
gave-
it a 9 though.
I did too.
I gave Demon Slayer a 10, and then I think dropped it back down to like a 7 or an 8.
Oh wow, big drop.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it at first.
I definitely still can't get past the animation quality throughout literally the entire thing.
It's
It
stupid
never drops
good.
off.
I can't
I
get past
honestly
how
can't believe they
mediocre the
pulled that
cast was.
That's kind of the issue I ran into. Outside of Zenitsu, I don't care what happens to any of them.
No, Zenitsu was by far the worst character out of the main
You better be
cast.
careful. I might start crying, Schultz.
Uh-oh, you better not fall asleep.
Oh, leave me alone.
Oh, it's so annoying. And his, like, badassness was not even close to, like... I understand it's, like, a duality. It's, like, two
His
extremes.
scenes looked amazing.
They do look very good.
He was just
I don't
really
know.
annoying.
That one was definitely like, it kind of had the same effect as Mob Psycho 2, where I was just like, man, the animation's too good not to give this at least a 9.
What's funny
Yeah,
is...
that's fair.
I got through the show and I watched it later. I watched it like 2 seasons later. I was like, wait, was that episode 17? What happened? Wasn't there something super crazy supposed to happen?
I don't know how you didn't understand what
It
happened.
was just a fight scene.
Like the
he just
art
fought,
and
he just fought
animation
him.
combined together in that scene was just like
The art was
ridiculous.
cool. I liked it. I was like, oh, look, cool blue stuff.
Cool blue. Oh my
But,
god,
dude,
Schultz.
It just
No.
the fight was literally big enough. It looked that good that it put like anime on the map for a
It
minute.
was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, it was
That never
actually trending
happened.
on Twitter.
Ooh,
Like,
blue. He do blue stuff. Water breathing, go bird.
Schultz,
Water
stop.
breathing, go bird.
You're gonna.
oh my god.
This might be the hottest take you've had on the podcast yet.
I don't. Yeah, I just it was like it looked cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's blue. He got a blue thing now. And then she
I
used
saw,
her
like-
fire thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, oh, the
That fight
fight's
scene pretty
over.
much single-handedly made that anime mainstream.
Yeah, I think that's where it picked up. That's where I chose to watch it, at least. Someone sent me like a GIF or a video of that, like who was watching it seasonally. I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess I'm watching this now.
I watched it from the beginning because it just seemed like it was going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'd
And
heard.
it was being animated by UFO Table, and I was like, oh, okay.
UFO table.
Say less.
I remember seeing like a season prior to that. Someone's like, it was a video, YouTube video, a real small YouTube video. The guy was like, top 10 underrated anime that will be coming out, and he's like, Demon Slayer. It's like, oh, what is that? I don't know what that is. I'll have to watch that. And he's actually wrong. It's the most overrated anime
Well,
of the
now
season.
it is because
It wasn't
literally
at the
brought
time.
so many people to anime.
It literally outsold One Piece
It was
last
literally
year,
it was
manga-wise.
trending on Twitter. That's all it took.
Yeah, that one episode.
Yeah,
And like
I like
in
the
manga
show.
wise, it outsold One Piece. That hasn't happened in like God knows how long. It's been at least a decade, I think, since One Piece got outsold.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad that it helped grow the anime community, but that doesn't mean I have to love it.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I stand with it. I admire it and appreciate what it's done for the community. And I like the animation, but it's also not one of my favorites. Zenitsu is in my top 10 characters, though.
Ugh. Ugh.
No, I didn't care for any of the characters enough
I
to
didn't either.
add them to my favorites. But like, I did find the story interesting. I liked the art style a lot, and the
Yeah.
animation was peak.
One thing.
One thing I will
Oh,
say. Oh,
no,
sorry.
No,
go
you,
ahead,
no,
Schultz.
no. You go ahead.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay,
you go
okay.
ahead.
This is probably gonna sour your mood a little bit, so you might want to go.
Oh
first.
no.
Okay, fine. All right,
ahead.
so one thing that I'm not really a huge fan of the show for is how I know this is kind of something people like a lot. I didn't like how it humanized all the demons. I don't like how it's like, oh, I have this really sad backstory, but I've killed and tortured all these people. It's like, oh, I'm just now really realizing the bad stuff I've done as I'm dying. And it was like the same formula. It's kind of like JoJo for me. It's like they use the same formula for every single fight. So it's like you know what's going to happen at the end.
I don't know. I think it's kind of falls into that same category. I think it was you I was talking about, like why I liked Naruto using talk no jutsu so
Yes,
often.
that was
in
me.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I liked that aspect for the same reason. I just liked the fact that like the demons weren't just like black and white. Demon Slayers good, demons bad. Like obviously they were doing bad stuff, but they all had their own reasons for getting to that situation. Doesn't warrant what they did, but
It's the opposite
I
for
don't
me.
know.
I think they tried to make it too much of a gray area. And
I don't know.
there's just having villains that are evil for the sake of evil, and that's bad. And you've got every single villain is good. Like I know there's
Well, I mean,
people
we
out there
haven't-
that are just psychopaths, and
I haven't seen
yeah.
if Michael Jackson has got any good in him yet.
We haven't
Well, I
seen
guess-
like anything on him. I don't know why the hype on him is insane. He literally has done like nothing.
I think the manga is over now. Maybe
It was
I should just read ahead.
It was,
I don't know.
He cross-dressed. That's all he's done. He stabbed somebody and he cross-dressed. That is all this man has done.
That's a villain right there. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm just saying he has potential to be what you're talking about, I feel like.
Who's typing hella loud?
That's me.
Sorry, what
There's
were you saying?
there's some stuff going on in the Discord, so I was just dealing with that real quick.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Police is coming. Sorry, Deca, what were you saying? You gotta continue what you were gonna say earlier, too, if you even remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right. What was I gonna say earlier?
Exactly, that's what I said. You go first. Whatever.
It's fine. We've been on this so long. I don't know. Did you ever say what your ninth was?
Nope, I'm about to right now, though. My 9th favorite anime, Naruto Shippuden.
Shippuden. Don't you ever do that again.
Naruto Shippuden.
Thank you.
This show had so many highs and lows for me. I've never had a show have this many. Like, I've never had a show move from like a 4 to a 10 before for me. It's insane.
I was getting real. Okay, like I was saying with High School Girl earlier, I was getting real nervous because I feel I could be wrong, but I feel like I was one of the main ones pushing like, oh, you gotta watch Naruto.
It was both
and
of
you got through like and you got like through all of the original series, and we're still saying you weren't too sure about it, and I'm like,
So
oh my god,
bad.
what have I done?
OG Naruto. It was like at the very peak, like the tuning exams. I liked, let's see, the best part of all of OG Naruto was the Sasuke retrieval arc for me, and then the 1v1 tournament, like most of the 1v1 fights in the tuning exam, but mostly when it was starting to get good in the 1v1 fights, like in the final tournament arc at the tuning exams, they cut it off, and I hated. I didn't hate. Okay, I disliked the Sound Village and the Sand Village attack. I didn't like that, except for the mecha battle between Shikaku and Gamamaru. No, that's the sun. It's what's the big toad?
What is his name?
Boss Toad, whatever I'm just gonna call him.
Gamakichi? Gamabunta?
Yeah, it's something with a G. Something with a G.
that.
I think Gamakichi is the younger one. Gamabunta, I'm pretty sure, is the oldest.
Okay.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That was my favorite fight up until Choji versus the sumo wrestler guy.
I mean, I've always said Naruto and Gaara are actually. I don't know if I have either of them in my top 10 characters, but they should be. I kind of slapped that together. I'm not gonna lie.
Gaara is
But,
probably my favorite character in Naruto. Yeah.
I would Naruto and Gaara are both like tied for me as my favorite. Again, going back to that like
I made my
Gray
favorites
area.
list for like all my characters, manga, people, etc. I made all that stuff like super early on, so it's just adapted over time. So I never had to deal with that. Like looking back at all the anime I've seen to decide.
yeah, I need to further do that. I did that when I first joined Mal. Then I like cleared everything and only ever fixed my top 10 anime, and then finally slapped characters together, and still I'm not happy with it. I mean, 02 is chilling in the list. That shouldn't be there.
Okay, but I gave OG Naruto a 6, and I think that is being very generous. That is being very
I gave it a
generous.
7, and I feel like it's a little generous. It was a little biased.
If I hadn't
Yeah.
watched Shippuden, I probably would have given. Okay, so if I was being just if I counted all of the filler, if I said I'd probably give all the filler a 3 or a 4. It's probably, I always say this, the second filler, like the 100 episodes of filler in Naruto is the hardest I've ever had to grind to get through anime. It is the worst anime I've ever seen. But it also has some alright stuff in the beginning. So if I had to give it an actual score, I'd probably give it like a 4.5. But that 6 is biased. A 6 is being biased. And the same thing for Shippuden.
Fair.
I think, it took me 2 months to watch Naruto. It took me a little less than 5 weeks to watch Shippuden. And it's more than twice as long. Shippuden just had me like, it just had me like, it had me by the balls. Like I couldn't stop watching it. It wouldn't let me go.
I think the boost that Shippuden has is, even though there's just as much, if not more filler, they didn't put it all at the end, probably because they realized no one would keep watching it. But
You have to have better pacing than what the OG had. You have to.
I'm surprised Shippuden. I'm not complaining because I love Shippuden to death. In particular, it's my favorite part of Naruto easily. It's got like most of my favorite arcs in it. But like, I'm kind of surprised anyone was still around to watch Shippuden after what they pulled with the first series.
I think it was a lot of they set up the like the time skip really well.
Yeah, they set up the time skip well, but that filler in the middle, I don't know how they kept people like involved, especially seasonally, not knowing how long it's gonna go on for. I'd have gotten like.
It could have been people that were just like reading the manga, so they just like
That's
already
true.
knew.
It's kind of why people are watching Boruto right now.
Oh my god!
I refuse. I refuse.
Christ. If you think that the OG Naruto is like the hardest filler to get through, it's somehow worse.
At least I'd like the characters in Boruto.
I don't want to.
Once you've gotten past the point where you're just like, oh man, all my favorite characters are grown up now and these are all their kids. Once you've gotten past that, you're just like, oh my god, I don't care. Get to the good stuff, please.
I will say, for Boruto, I've only watched the like last Naruto movie because I couldn't give less of a crap about Boruto himself.
I still need to watch that.
The part in the movie literally gets just like tossed in at some point in the anime. I think it's like around like 40, 50, maybe a little earlier than that, like 30 something. It's somewhere in there. And it's like a few episodes or so, and it's easily the best part. And it's literally from the movie.
I like Sasuke's child. I hated Naruto's. Boruto himself. I despise him.
Why can't I not think of her name? It starts with an S.
Sarada?
It's Sarada, yeah.
Is that how you say it? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Again, I've only
It's
watched that
Sarada.
weird
It's
She's
anime.
probably
Sarada.
the best character, for sure.
The Uchiha that needs glasses is the best character.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Dang. Visual
Be
jutsu.
like that.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean,
That
there's
is
really
pretty
no other
weird, though.
notable new character, to be honest.
Okay, but like
Aside
that's
from
actually,
obviously the title character.
okay. And what about the one dude, like Orochimaru's kid or whatever it was, who
He
just
has a
showed up out
kid?
of
Quote
nowhere.
unquote his kid. Quote unquote. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that until you like maybe someday watch it. But
I'm planning on watching
it's
it.
That just sounds
it is and it
so-
isn't.
It sounds so sketch. It's the most I'm like, and I know he was
He's
supposed
also,
to have like
like-
a semi-redemption arc in Shippuden, but I would not trust
He's not
anyone
even-
Orochimaru sending into the village.
They put, oh man, it just irritates me to no end. They've literally given him like an entire, like, I think maybe 2 arcs, and I don't even care for him that much.
I'm just saying, this isn't to shade it. If you like Boruto, more power to you. It's very noticeable.
I'm only like
the same
75
person.
episodes deep, and I think they're like 150 or something now.
I mean,
And I'm pretty sure still nothing's happened.
Okay, Boruto fans are gonna get mad at this one. I genuinely look at Boruto as an entire series of filler, not even counting the actual filler. I just consider the entire series filler. Like,
honestly,
it's not
like you can't
Kishimoto.
necessarily consider like the beginning filler just because it has to explain the changes of the world, I guess. But like after like the first like 10, 15 episodes, it's all filler, basically.
That's sad. Shippuden ended such a good point.
There's
too.
like
I
there's like a
genuinely
little bit you can sprinkle in here and there throughout the like 130 episodes of filler that's like actually useful information, but other than that, it's like nothing.
I mean, like what you were saying, Vinny. I liked when I watched the movie, seeing like all these characters grown up. That was fun, but I mean, that's the reason I've had so much trouble convincing myself to start Boruto. I'd love to see more of adult Naruto and an adult Sasuke, adult Gaara. I enjoyed seeing all that. It's just I couldn't even sit through. I have Naruto and Naruto Shippuden at a 10, and I sat through all the filler and still gave it that. I couldn't sit through that hour-and-a-half movie because of Boruto himself and give it anything above a 7, even with that factor there. So I just don't see any way I could leave that series with a positive impression. I can, like, if this makes any sense, I can only really see it, like, hurting my impression of Naruto.
I feel like it's also getting a little ridiculous. Like the scale they're trying to go to now.
Well, after
It's starting
Shippuden,
to
what
get,
are you
like,
supposed to
it's
do?
starting to get to like Dragon Ball level scale.
What are you supposed to do? He literally like defeated the god
for
of
sure.
chakra.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like it should have just ended there. Just don't do
Exactly.
Boruto.
At
Or
least
if
make it
you're
a
going
slice
to
of
do
life or
Boruto,
something.
okay, then just add another, I don't know, like 10, 20 episodes at the end of Shippuden and just show them grow up and just
Well, I
call
think-
it quits there.
I think that's what the movie was supposed to be when Kishimoto was writing it. Because he did write at the end of, like, I've got volume 72 sitting on my shelf over there, because as one does, I bought the manga. That part is canon. Boruto does exist. I think that's what was supposed to happen. But Shonen Jump being like, nah, Naruto's still a cash cow man, was just like, we can have his assistant keep it going. He can keep writing it. They're basically the same kind of author.
It's doing pretty good too, isn't it? Well, not on Mal,
The
but
worst part.
sales and stuff, it's doing all right.
Yeah,
I think.
sales and stuff, it's doing alright, which kind of. You can't honestly, even Boruto fans, I don't feel like can honestly tell me if they think, even if it gets better later on, they think it would have had the chance to get that far if it hadn't used Naruto's name. If it was its own property to start with, and it tried to do what it did, it would have died in the water, I feel like.
Well, to be fair, if Naruto didn't have Shippuden, Naruto would be like my least favorite show of all time. So.
Well, yeah, but Naruto got to survive off its own name. Naruto wasn't piggybacking off of anything when it got Shippuden. It lived that long on its own and then shifted to Shippuden.
Yeah. You know how I said I was being generous with giving Naruto a 6?
Yeah.
I'm being generous giving Shippuden a 9.
Nah.
If I went
Shippuden
if I
deserved a 10.
went off of just like episode for episode, like the time I invested in it and what I got out of it, I'd probably give it like a 7.5.
I honestly think I'm too harsh on it for how much I actually like it.
You're too harsh on it? You're like this.
I mean-
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I just mean it's like 5th on my list. I've watched it 4 times. You'd honestly think it'd kind of be higher up.
I don't know. The more I watch shows, the lower I rate them most of the time.
I've never dropped the rating of Naruto, honestly. It was a 10 the first time I watched it back in... God, how long has it even been? I watched Naruto like the first year of middle school. Jesus.
I just watched it
that's-
recently.
Yeah, no, and I gave it a 10 then, and I'd still give it a 10 now.
The thing for
One
me
thing
with
I w-
Shippuden. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna take a while.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna take
No.
a while. You go ahead.
One thing, I think the one difference of opinion I have now about Naruto, after this newest watch, and this might actually move it up my list a bit once I'm done. I want to wait till I finish it again to say for sure. But when I first watched it, I think I got caught up in how everyone talks about like, oh, the war arc's the worst part, and it ruins Naruto.
No.
Actually, like this fourth time, I still have the pain arc as my favorite. I don't think that'll ever be top. That's
I
like one of my
agree.
top 3 arcs in like anime just ever. Not even just
I agree.
Naruto.
I agree. It's a top 5 shonen for me. I think.
But like the war arc, well, it's flawed. It's not perfect by any means. Like Madara could have been handled better, and I know people don't like Kaguya. I genuinely really like the war arc.
If there
I would
was no
still say
filler,
exactly without that stupid block of like 50 filler.
no, it's more than that.
between,
No. There's like 6 filler arcs inside the war arc.
In
Like
particular, I'm
6
talking
20
about, like,
episode filler arc. It's insane.
do you
The
guys
war
think
arc
it's
is
fine?
half of the show.
do you guys think it's fine to spoil Naruto at this point?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
Naruto spoilers, cover your ears
Naruto
now.
spoilers ahead. Yeah, but like that filler arc after like, you know when they're fighting Madara and he's just been revived, he doesn't even have both Rinnegan back yet, and then he like uses the ghetto statue to pull, Kurama out of Naruto, and then he has Gaara like carrying him away.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
are like
to go for his
50
dad to
episodes
go.
of filler. Yeah, there are like 50 episodes of. They didn't even say they were going to his dad. They just went and got Sakura.
Yeah.
And like, granted, you can kind of see where they're going with it. They introduced Minato and had like his half of Kurama, but like, why they stopped it there and decided to put like 50 episodes of filler
Because
right there.
they put it in the
I'm-
most suspenseful places.
It was, and there was just so much. I can genuinely take like maybe 10, 15 episodes of Naruto filler at a time and still enjoy it. But there's so much of it. It's just so hard to stand sometimes.
No,
There's
I
some
watched
bad
it all,
places.
and I watched
Yeah.
it all in one sitting, or like one. I watched it. It took me 5 weeks. It was the most anime I'd watched in like a concentrated amount of period of time, and I think I broke my record for most anime watched in a day. I think I watched like 38 episodes.
I mean, it's just such a good series, and I want to point out, just for the record, because I love taking every opportunity I can to hate on this studio. Pierrot was the studio that animated Naruto as well, and in all fairness, unlike Tokyo Ghoul, the like animation-wise, there is some really, really good-looking Naruto fights, like the first Naruto versus Sasuke, Naruto versus Pain, Kakashi versus Obito. And then, like, obviously the last Naruto versus Sasuke. It's well animated at points. It's well animated. But I just
They do
can't
get
help
really
but
lazy
blame them for... Yeah. I can't help but blame them for the pacing. Like, most of the pacing issues... If you read the manga, I feel like most of the pacing issues comes down to just Pierrot more than it actually comes down to Naruto. Like, obviously, you still have to base the anime on that. You can't just be like, well, it could have been done better. But it just sucks because I feel like as much as I love Naruto, even at a 10, I feel like it could have been even better.
Yeah, there was a lot of flaws with Naruto for me, and I think that is a good way for me to segue into what I was going to talk about. I was going to say, definitely the worst part about Naruto is the filler arcs. And
Agreed.
I know that there's some people like you said you don't mind the filler arcs. I think that thinking of it like this, going from a 10 show to like a 6 slice of life, that's what it's like for me to watch.
I wouldn't even give it a 6. If it wasn't with the Naruto characters that I already loved and adored to death, it wouldn't even be a 6 slice of life.
No. The best arc for me, there was one arc that was an 8, and it was the second Chunin exam, which was good at first, and it started to fall off for me. But after that, there is not an arc that is above like a 7 for me. All of the rest are awful. I did not enjoy any of the filler in that show. I was like, oh my god, I'm about to hit another filler arc, because I had the filler. I'd watch an episode and I'm like, wait a second, is this a flashback or is this filler? And I had it on like standby. Like I had the filler list on standby. I'm like, oh, now I have to sit here through 25 episodes of filler. Like trying to get Naruto from the turtle to the war front was like miserable for me. It was so miserable for me.
Again,
You guys
that was just
consider
such
the
a
flashback arcs as filler.
I don't.
The
There's
what?
one
The
filler.
Itachi and Kakashi
Yeah.
flashback arcs.
No,
No,
like
that's
the
canon.
Kakashi arc
That's
is
a lot of it's
technically considered
canon.
filler, but like
Well,
yeah,
it's canon, but like it's basically filler because like they didn't actually like lead into it. They just
mean-
randomly plopped their flashback arcs
Yeah. See,
I mean,
into the
in-
canon.
yeah.
In particular with the Kakashi arc, like assuming we're talking about the Onbu flashback arc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one's considered filler because it's not from the manga, which is why I think they placed it like they did. But it's actually from like a canon side story. I forget the name of it. I think it's like the Uzumaki Chronicles or something weird like that. But it's technically like Naruto Hiden series. That's what it is. It's canon stuff. It's just again placed in such a bad spot. Like I feel like
I
if
still
they
really
had placed,
enjoyed the
yeah.
flashbacks, but
I enjoyed the Kakashi The Kakashi flashback is probably, and this is kind of biased because Kakashi's probably one of my favorite characters in the series as well. But it's probably one of my favorite filler arcs in the series.
He's like everybody's top 5. If he's not in your top 10 characters, I don't know what's up with you.
That and the power arc. I don't know if you guys remember that one by name, but you remember that one where like, it did not feel. Honestly, you have to look at it separate from Naruto, in my opinion. It didn't feel like part of Naruto almost, but you remember that arc where like they were going to this village that Kabuto like helped wipe out, and like the uncle
yeah, I
ran
think
away
so.
with those kids.
Oh, yeah, and it's
story
like
with
it's
the-
completely
yeah.
different. It's not. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with this. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that one, and it was super well animated, which was cool just to see.
I didn't like it at first, but towards the end, I was like, okay, this isn't bad. But I want to watch the actual show. I don't want to watch this. Show me the war arc. Show me what's going on.
I think it helped that that one was pretty short as well. It was only like 4 to 6 episodes, I want to say.
Yeah, it was like 6, I think.
Yeah, and then that was like all the filler in that spot. It's not that it wasn't in a bad. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I don't think it was in that bad a spot.
I
Could just
don't
be I got
remember.
through it in one sitting, so I just didn't realize it was in a bad spot. But
I got through most of the filler in one sitting.
I can't do that.
No, I watched.
I did that the first time. I can't do that again.
That day that I watched 38 episodes, I watched the longest filler arc.
Oh God. Okay, but at least at that point you were probably close to the end.
No, it was right before. It was when he was on that stupid boat. It was like 28 or 30 episodes of filler, and I watched it. I was like, oh, this is supposed to be so hype. It's gonna be so hype. Oh, never mind. He's on a boat now. And then it got done, and I was like, oh my god, this is so hype. This is so hype. And then I had to keep watching because it was so hype and it was so good. And then it was like 5 in the morning, and I'm like, oh. I started watching at like 10 in the morning, and it was 5 in the morning, and I'm like, oh. It was, yeah.
Yeah, when you go on like binges like that long that are like you're starting to reach around 40 episodes, it feels like you've been watching anime like for years.
It does.
Hmm. I couldn't stop
Like
watching.
the one
though.
time I watched 41 episodes of One Piece, I was like, my god, I need to stop, please.
I think the weirdest part you can catch yourself in if it's like all you're watching at the time. Like I've been watching like nothing outside of seasonals but Naruto this summer, and like it's really easy to just like look at it, like because you were talking about having the filler list up as well, Schultz. I've got like the Naruto Shippuden filler list up on my screen like at all times, and you look at the next filler arc and you're like, I literally caught myself go, oh, the next filler arc's only 20 episodes. That's not that bad. And then I start to think
20
about it. I'm like,
episodes is
I could watch
awful.
like an entire anime, almost 2, one core series, in the time it's going to take me to finish this filler arc.
That's how
It's
you.
just I've
Yeah.
gotten so used to it.
It's a waste of time. And
Nah,
it's
a waste
not
of
good.
time,
It is
man.
not. There is two in OG Naruto. There's one good filler arc, and I don't even remember the guy's name, but I brought him up to y'all that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
I
Do you
don't
remember what I was
his
talking
name
about?
either.
The guy at the end that he ate ramen with after he died, and he cried.
Oh yeah, him, the builder dude, right?
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
he picked him up because he was like knocked out, but he was like an assassin or something. And then he had amnesia, but then he remembered, and he's like, I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be Naruto's friend.
I gave
I want to be a good guy.
Shippuden a 9, but like I couldn't give it anything lower because I think Shippuden, honestly, not just Shippuden, I guess, but Naruto in general probably has like the best world building of anything I've ever seen.
I couldn't agree more.
I had to give it. I couldn't give it that 7.5. I was like, I gotta bump it up to a 9. I was like, I gotta bump it up.
Yeah.
Ridiculous how in depth they've gone with their entire world.
And I don't want to say I think the entire Naruto cast is perfect, because it's not.
They have so many good characters
I was
that
about
don't
to
even
say,
get screen time.
They
Like
do have a
Shisui,
lot of
for
good
example,
characters.
they don't even go into this dude, and I'm like, man, there could be a whole 30-episode side series about this dude, and I'd watch it.
Like, even the characters they don't develop that much, I find myself attached to. Like, even some of the... I could have watched an entire spin-off series, like, from the Akatsuki's perspective instead of Naruto's, and probably enjoyed it almost as much.
You know, I wasn't
It's
a big fan of
ridiculous
most of the
how good their characters
Akatsuki.
are.
Yeah.
I liked some of them. I liked Itachi a lot.
Itachi's...
For
Itachi's
sure.
like that character from Naruto.
I can't even. I didn't like Daedra
Like,
that much.
everyone
I didn't like.
Even if he's not your favorite, I think everyone liked him.
Yeah. I mean, he's not. I wouldn't put him in my top 5, but I liked him a lot still.
Yeah.
Especially
I think he's my
with
fourth.
the whole.
Fourth.
You think he's a bad guy the whole time, and then
Exactly.
you find out he was a good guy, and you're like, oh my god.
I don't think
I
he
just
went
don't
around.
think
I
that-
don't think he did it. He went around it good. I don't think he. I don't like
just
how he
don't-
did that.
I don't know. I feel like they were dropping hints throughout, like the way he handled like coming after Naruto in the original series, and like Jiraiya stopping him, air quotes. Like they were clearly kind of building up to it. I feel like it was planned, but I genuinely can say I didn't see it coming until they revealed it.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched it like 3 months ago or something, so I definitely knew about it.
I mean, watching like, in particular, because like that was Sasuke's entire motivation, like the entire time. So watching him pull that off,
Well, yeah.
and then like
Sasuke
after
pissed
he's
me off,
already
too.
killed
Also
him.
really tough
Yeah.
for Sasuke, like to watch the fact that he was just like, his whole motive was that his brother was evil, and then he finds out himself that he wasn't evil, and he's like,
His
oh,
whole
man.
motive was basically built on a lie.
You know, I think my favorite part of Itachi is after he comes back.
I can see that. I like when Itachi
Especially,
came back.
I really, really, really liked his interactions with everybody, especially Sasuke.
I like how they handled Itachi's death, but I feel like, because I feel like a lot of other characters got closure in the way that Itachi died, but I feel like Itachi himself only got closure after he came back.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense. How I
I don't know if
worded
there's
that, but
much better ways that you could actually kill off a character though than the way they killed off Itachi. Like
oh no way,
this
no way.
massive fight scene with his brother, and then like the way he goes out.
Oh,
And
he
then
like,
it's
does the like finger tap on the head again.
Yeah.
And then if he was trying, he would have actually destroyed Sasuke.
Yeah, and again, on that same, like you were saying, like there's not much better ways you could kill a character. Honestly, I think Naruto has a lot of like some of the best character deaths in general.
Oh
like,
yeah,
Jiraiya.
Oh,
Jiraiya,
yeah.
is, like,
Jiraiya went
Azuma.
out. Oh my god.
Azuma, oh my god.
Yeah, he went out in a good way too.
God.
Okay. They did really shit the bed with Neji though. I'm not gonna lie.
I
That
agree.
was so
I hadn't-
random. It's like, wait, he's the only one out of like all these people? It's like, what was the point of that?
I mean, that's why I
I
was.
literally just feel like
Yeah.
it was because it was a war and so
And
many
no one
randos were
important
dying
had
that they were
died,
just
yeah.
like, we have to pick somebody from the main cast to
But
kill.
I hated that so much because like we were talking about all those deaths. Well, even going back to the first series, like Zabuza and Haku. Well, we were just talking about Itachi, Jiraiya, Asuma. You get all these characters. They always felt like they died for a reason. Like you think back to Zabuza and Haku. That's where Naruto like first like found his ninja way. He's like, I don't want to follow this ninja world. And then like Jiraiya died, and he's basically helped save the Leaf Village. Without him, he got to right his wrongs in the end. It's just I didn't feel that with Neji. He just died, like you were saying. It just felt like it was there, so someone important died.
Yeah.
I also think all the flashbacks that they did were like executed really well. Like even the flashbacks with like Orochimaru and Jiraiya and their squad.
Yeah,
Like
I
just
agree.
every flashback was like just done perfectly.
Okay, hear me out here. I liked the flashbacks, but the flashbacks during fights pissed me off. Like it took the tension away. Like
I don't
the
think it took the
Sakura
yeah.
versus Ino, and the tuning exams.
that,
oh my
that one,
god,
that fight shouldn't exist.
oh
I'm not gonna
my
lie,
god.
it shouldn't
was
even exist.
literally, it gave everybody like all these great fights where like even Gaara versus Lee was shorter than that fight. Every fight was shorter than that
Yeah,
fight, and
it
it was
was
by far
just-
the worst one.
It was horrible. I just wish that it didn't exist.
Yeah.
I feel like Sakura versus Ino is like what happened with Madara. And hear me out here because I know that sounds weird, but like where he rode himself into a corner. Like all throughout the Chunin exam and before, he had been like developing Naruto and Sasuke. Like you look back at the start of the series, and then you look at the Chunin exams, and you can very clearly see a difference in their characters. And Sakura had gotten like nothing. I feel like that was him trying to fix it, but just executed in the worst possible way.
Oh, speaking of Sakura getting development, I watched the first episode of Shippuden, like the first arc. I was like, Sakura's actually useful. She defeated an Akatsuki member. I was like, what? This is insane. Oh, nothing like this ever gets close to happening again. Never mind.
Well, actually, she does have one more useful moment that's like notable, and
The
it's
war.
literally just when Naruto is about to die.
Oh, that scene where she like cuts open his side
Yeah,
and starts
yeah.
manually
Pumping his
beating his
chest.
heart is
Yeah.
wicked. I feel like Sakura, and I do not like Sakura very much, like in comparison to the entire cast.
Mm-mm.
So I don't want this to be taken as me like defending Sakura too much, but I feel like she doesn't quite get enough credit in the sense that like I feel like if we compare her to
Probably
character,
not, but like if you compare her to the two other main characters, she does
Exactly.
nothing. Is the
Exactly.
problem.
it's like compared to like Ino, who was her main rival, quote unquote, or like any of like a lot of the side characters, like Kiba, she's strong enough and she's like easily the best medical ninja they've got. But you just compare her to the rest of Team 7, which is Naruto and Sasuke, like you said, and even then they're squad
Sai.
captain.
Sai, even Sai.
Kakashi. And you've got Kakashi as their leader, and going off that, like Sai coming in, you also had Yamato around the same time. You compare her to any 5 of those, and she's just kind of... Then she does really kind of seem useless.
Guys, I finally caught up to you. No, I hate that. I said, shut up. I said, shut up, Sakura. Shut up. Go back in the trash can, bro.
See, I feel like... Because you were talking about that scene at the start of, like, that start of Shippuden where, like, she helped Naruto get the bells from Kakashi, and then she defeated an Akatsuki member. If the rest of Shippuden had treated her like that, and we had, like, seen her get stronger and stronger, then we got to the war and had that same moment where, like, guys, I finally caught up to you. I feel like there could have been a lot of payoff there. It's just,
Yeah.
there was, like, nothing in
I don't know.
between.
It came out of
could even
nowhere.
Done it though.
No,
It was just there.
it came out of nowhere. She's like useless the entire show, and then suddenly she's like, "Oh yeah, I've been saving up chakra in my star thingy that Tsunade taught me, but no one knew
Which,
about
like-
it. And also, I'm also really strong and can heal everybody now."
I mean, I can even take the, like, what's it called? 100 years healing or 1,000 years
Yeah.
healing, one of the two.
It's something like that.
I can take her learning that. But if we compare even Tsunade, who we had just watched, like, get
fucked
whooped with the other Kage.
by Madara,
Madara.
yeah.
Yeah. And, like, Naruto and Sasuke are putting up a good fight. And I'm not saying this to shade Sakura, just Tsunade is very easily stronger than Sakura was.
I don't know about at the
Yeah,
end. I don't know if he was trying to make her stronger than her at the end, because
Well,
of what
maybe
she
at the end,
said.
but at that point, I feel like she was supposed to be strong, or at least from what we had seen, Tsunade had performed like way more feats than Sakura had.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it just kind of felt like even if I could see the 100 healing making her useful, like if she was fighting like the white Zetsu, or like some of the lackeys, or even helping ward off attack, but like straight up going head to head with Madara, with Naruto and Sasuke, no, none of that.
Oh, if we're talking about going head to head with Madara, oh my God, Might Guy. Oh, Might Guy is a god. Oh my. Might Guy.
It was actually really tough the way they handled that, but I still really liked it.
Oh yes.
Like he ended up being like paralyzed or whatever.
I actually like that though, because like
Yeah, I liked
There
it
act-
too. is
there's
what I'm
actually
saying. Like, it's
consequences?
It
What?
was sad.
There's
yeah.
actually consequences in Naruto. What?
I feel like Naruto is actually very good about having consequences, honestly.
When?
There was what happened
When?
with like Rock Lee.
Except for it didn't
He had
matter. It didn't
consequences.
matter.
He ended up, he ended up fixing it or whatever. He got back to normal, but like,
Well, let me not say specifically consequences, but I feel like when they say there's gonna be a consequence for something, it usually at least builds onto something. Like you remember after the fight with Hidan and whatever his name is, the heart dude, where Naruto first uses the Rasen Shuriken
The
and
who?
Tsunade is like, nah.
Kakuzu?
Kakuzu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kakuzu,
I
yeah.
understood the heart guy was like Netero
Yeah.
from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
What?
And Tsunade was like, yo, use this again and your hand is gonna die. Like, obviously there weren't any more consequences from that, but we did kind of see that get, like, used again when he learned Sage Jutsu, and they
Yeah.
kind of explained, like, the Sage Jutsu is what let him use it.
The
So
only
even if there
power.
weren't, like,
No,
even
the-
if there weren't, like, always consequences, I feel like he was at least good about not forgetting that he mentioned something.
that's
if
the
that
only
makes sense.
example of that I can think of.
Okay, but, like,
Well,
what
it
about
was an
Ox-
important example because, like, I mean, if it's a side character or something, it's not really that important, and
No.
you're probably
Like,
not going to remember it.
And what about Jiraiya? Jiraiya's like entire like final arc, again in the pain arc, with Nagato, was that he failed to handle how he taught him, and it was like his past demons coming back to
The
haunt
thing
him
is,
there.
he taught him good. He taught him good. It's just that he had a traumatic experience, and he was being manipulated.
Well, he was definitely being manipulated, but,
Well, he
the
also
thing
like
is-
didn't he like abandon them basically? He didn't
No,
really
no, no.
abandon
He
them, but he
trained
just
them.
He said
took
he
a
was
whole,
leaving,
he
but
took
he
a
did
whole
kinda just
3
bail.
years out of his life to train them, and he's like, "You guys are strong enough. You don't need me anymore." And they were strong enough to found the Akatsuki. So I don't think that is a good example there, because he didn't abandon them. He trained them. During the war, he took 3 years out of his time to help them. During a war,
I'm
he
not
wasn't
saying-
helping his country.
I actually don't think it was necessarily that. Like, because
Yeah.
if that one dude, I can't even remember what his name was,
Orange
the dude with
hair?
the orange hair didn't die, then he probably wouldn't have ever became evil.
No,
anyway.
but it would have. He was being manipulated for that to happen, anyways. So no matter what, he was going to turn out like that, because Madara wanted that to happen to him.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I will say this is like the one part of Shippuden I will complain about that I liked from Naruto, and I feel like it's like the biggest contradiction in Naruto, at least that I noticed. I could have missed something because I do kind of very blatantly look at it through like rose-tinted glasses. In the original Naruto, if you remember, obviously with like the Neji fight or like even Rock Lee versus Gaara, they always had that like core like series theme of like defying your destiny and choosing your own path. Even up to the war arc, it still felt like they were going for that. Because like with Obito, Naruto was like, it's not too late, you can still pick your own path. And then all of a sudden, in comes the Sage of Six Paths, and he's like, you and Sasuke are the reincarnations of my sons.
It's all about fate. It's all about destiny. And
Yeah, all of
Shippuden,
a sudden it just...
it's from the
and I don't-
beginning.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I don't-
I'm just gonna build on
yeah.
what you're saying real quick.
Yeah, go
In
ahead.
Shippuden, at the beginning, it's all about
Yeah.
this destiny that this told
Yeah.
Jiraiya, and Naruto's
Yeah.
fulfilling this destiny the entire time. So he's following this path. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
like-
yeah, continue.
No, you're right. I actually forgot about that. Like the child of prophecy is what they kept going on about, and I don't dislike that. I actually like that better than original Naruto's theme, to an extent. I enjoyed watching that. Like I said, the pain arc and the like war arc are probably my two favorite arcs in the series. So I don't want it to be taken as like a major complaint. It was just weird to see that like tonal and thematic shift just kind of out of nowhere, it felt like.
Yeah.
I actually just remembered another person that died that was still handled way better than Neji.
Well,
It was literally Shikamaru's dad.
Oh
Oh,
no. I was talking... Was it you guys as well, maybe? I was talking about this with someone the other day. Shikamaru's dad, the worst part about his death for me, like the saddest part, was that I felt worse for Shikamaru when Asuma died than when he did.
I kind of did too, to be honest.
Shikaku is a beast, though. Isn't that his name? Wait, is that his name, or is that the?
I
the
know
name
that's
of-
the
the one-tailed beast, isn't it?
yeah the
It
one.
was something. It was.
Yeah.
It was shit. It was like SHI something. It was like
It
similar.
was, yeah, because they have to have the Ino Shikacho thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's something
no.
else that I just thought of too.
Yeah.
It's completely off topic. It's about Boruto, but like whoever
Burrito.
like Choji ended up, yeah, Burrito. It's about Burrito. Choji ended up with like the one red-haired chick from the Cloud Village,
Oh, the
and I was
darker
just like,
girl.
how?
Oh,
How?
The dark. Wait, you talking about the dark skin girl that like destroyed Naruto's face at
Yes.
one time? I
Yes.
didn't like her. I hated
Choji
her.
ends up with her, and it makes no sense. It
It's
was
called
so
they didn't-
random.
It's called They Didn't Have Any Characters Left to pair Choji with.
Oh, listen. Okay, so no, his dad's name is Shikaku, and then the one-tailed beast is Shukaku. So it's just an I difference. It's an I and an H.
Okay.
Hear me out here, and I don't usually like shipping characters, but I genuinely would have, like, on that topic, rather have seen, like, Ino and Choji get together than, like,
Yes!
either of the ships Ino and Choji got in.
Until I
Like,
saw
Ino was-
Sai, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Until I saw Sai,
didn't-
that's what I thought.
I did not like the
Honestly, the
Ino
one
and Sai
ship that was like, I like never expected or thought about it, but I was like, man, that's actually perfect. Was Shikamaru's. I was like, man,
Yeah, I like.
that's actually perfect.
I
And I
like
like it
that.
a lot.
I like.
I like.
theirs.
See, I like Naruto and Hinata, but kind of just because of how much Hinata wanted the relationship to happen
Pretty
from the start.
much. I was
Like,
just like, man, she's
it
really
felt
just
one-sided. Yeah,
losing
dedicated.
constantly.
Yeah,
I still think Ino was the hottest girl on that show.
I think physically, yeah, but I liked Hinata best out of all of them.
Cause she's
Personality
Cause she does the fingers, the two index fingers and the thumbs up together.
Yeah,
Naruto-kun.
I don't know. I just not even that. I liked like the dedication and determination she got from it. Like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like she was just like. Well, she kind of did have an "I need Naruto" attitude, but at the same time, the way she went, I honestly feel like she's a better version of Sakura. Because Sakura the whole time is like, I'm always staring at their backs. I'm gonna catch up on my own, and then Hinata's like, I'm staring at his back, but I want to walk side by side with him. So that was still her motivation for training as well. But I honestly found her more believable with it than Sakura.
Yeah, I liked Hinata better. And actually, my favorite moment in that show involves Hinata. It involves Hinata getting, like, destroyed and almost dying, but... Oh, when Naruto, right before he fights Pain, whenever his like, the episode ends with
Yeah.
his eye, he's, like, trying not to fight him. He's like, I'm not gonna fight you, as he's, like, getting the poles in him. And then his
Yeah.
his eye turns, like, doom, doom. It, like, turns red, and then the episode ends. Oh, and
Yeah,
then, and then he turns
that's a
into...
good moment.
And then he turns into the... Oh... That's
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 kinda-
top 5
yeah.
moments in anime for me, probably.
I mean, that's exactly a good point of what I meant. Though. That's where I could see like more of Naruto and Hinata standing side by side than even like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. Even if that's what was supposed to happen, Hinata protected Naruto like on a fair amount of occasions. Even if she was never as strong as him,
Mhm.
whenever he was like in trouble, it was always her or Sasuke that kind of came to his rescue. Well, I guess Gaara as well one time. I really like Gaara, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like she kind of ended up being everything Sakura was supposed to be.
You know, actually, I think there's a
Oh.
character I disliked more than Sakura. Tintin. Tintin was
I
like
didn't
so
dislike
useless.
Ten.
She was so
Ten just
useless.
could have not existed, and I wouldn't have noticed the difference.
Dude,
That
she
was
was
actually
so
like my
useless.
friend's favorite character for no reason.
I don't I like. She's literally like. You know how it's in OG? It's like Sakura and Ino are these two like super weak characters that nobody cares about, and then Tintin's like she's like the strong female. No, I wouldn't say lead. She's just a strong female character, even though she got destroyed by what's her name with the fan? I don't even remember her name right
Tamari?
Tamari. Yeah.
Tamari, yeah, Tamari. She's probably my favorite female character in that actually, but the way she just
Tamari is great.
she's like starts off as this really like strong character, and then as it goes on, it's like she's the only one that's like an actual ninja. To be fair, like she was so useless. And then there was like a whole like the longest dream filler arc was with her, and I just didn't.
I
care
actually,
for
that
it.
was probably my least favorite filler arc.
It was close for me. It was bad.
Because man, it was so long for no reason. And on top of it, it was just a bunch of useless nonsense, and you knew it was.
All
because
of
it was just a
Naruto
dream.
filler for me. Literally all of Naruto filler for me.
I don't. I feel conflicted on the like infinite Tsukuyomi. I never know how to pronounce filler. Cause like I don't know. On one hand, again, it was placed in such a bad spot.
but like at the same time, I feel like it helped put into perspective just how scary the Infinite Tsukuyomi was supposed to be.
Well,
If that
yeah,
makes
but
sense.
like they could have just made like each story like way shorter and only spend a few episodes on it or something, instead of how long they actually spent on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should move on to your number 10 though,
Oh,
because
we're talking
this is
about
turned
top 10?
into
Jesus.
basically
We're talking about top 10
just the
anime?
Naruto podcast.
I'm
we
fine
talk
with
about
that.
Naruto for like an hour. It was
Not
at least
quite
30
an hour,
minutes.
but quite a bit.
It's been.
It's probably been
Okay.
like 45 minutes.
I could talk
Something
about
sad.
Shippuden all day, but moving on to number 10,
Yeah,
forgot we were
I
doing
could
this.
too.
I got,
Can we do another episode on Naruto again, please?
I don't know, Vinny
have
doesn't
more
want
to
to.
say.
Vinny isn't
Possibly.
confident in his Naruto knowledge, so.
Vinny,
Even though
you
he
just
has it at
gotta
number
rewatch
2.
it, man.
Right.
Come
Even though
on.
he has it
up
at
on
number 2.
Yo, Vinny, come on. Reaction series on Naruto next.
And then I'm
That's
going to have to rewatch
wild.
it by the
It'll
time he
literally last the rest
rewatches
of my
it.
life.
If I rewatch it, I'm skipping every filler. I'm skipping all the filler.
Every filler.
There's no way.
Every filler.
There is
I can't
no
do that, man.
way.
I can't do
I
that.
don't skip
Gotta
anime.
watch it all.
It's so. Oh my! If I rewatch
Once
it, I'd
is
probably
more
drop
than
it.
enough.
I'd probably drop it I'd probably drop it to like a 7 if I rewatched it. Anyways, okay, no, we're talking about my 10th favorite anime. Wow.
mhm.
Okay. Here at number 10, Deku also has this in his.
I do have this in mind.
Dr. Stone. Another new anime.
This is probably my favorite. Well, I guess Weathering with You was from last year, but it didn't get a theatrical release here till this year, so I'm counting it as a 2020 anime when I say this. But Dr. Stone was probably my favorite anime from last year. New,
was up
not
there for
counting
me.
My Hero Academia, obviously.
Okay, it was novel, and your favorite novel series from last year. As in new, not book.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Dr. Stone, I don't know, it just I think it did a really good job with the it's like I don't even really know how to explain why I liked it. I've been saying that a lot. I don't really know how to explain. It's just I like it. I loved it. I loved like the progression from
I think that
from like nothing to like whatever they have at the end, like cell phones.
I mean, cell phone is a strong word for what they made.
Walkie-talkie.
Yeah. No, but like I feel like I like Dr. Stone for the same reason I like Food Wars, which I also really like. It's like very clearly feels like a shonen series at the hype moments without being a shonen series.
Mhm.
I don't know, that makes zero sense, but it makes sense if you've watched either of those series.
Yeah.
I feel like the best way you can explain that.
It's for me. It's like a really, really, really good Cells at Work.
I haven't. I
I
watched
haven't
like that
seen it.
one like minute long clip of Cells at Work. I
Well,
don't even know what it was supposed to be.
It
OVA,
was
ONA, it was
average.
something like that.
it was average.
And I
for
watched
me.
it. I hated it, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not watching Cells at Work then.
Yeah, it was average for me. But one thing I will say about Dr. Stone, I was not a big fan of the villain.
I don't know.
He was just too perfect. He was too perfect for me.
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Like he was
a
literally
little
like the
too
strongest
good
man.
at everything.
Literally, this like the strongest like teenager alive that can punch a lion to death. But he's also like almost as smart as Senku. Isn't that his name?
Senku, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he was just a little too strong, to be honest.
Yeah, he's like in this,
Yeah.
and then he revived a bunch of people that were like super strong as well. Like I don't
Okay,
know how
but,
he could
like-
tell.
It's not that he has the same intelligence. It's
It's-
more like he has the same, like, if not better, like, wit.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
he definitely
exactly.
isn't as smart, like book smart, but he's got like a lot of common sense. He's got like what
I
he
mean,
needs to
it's perfect.
survive.
Yeah. I mean, the perfect example of that is what you were saying with him being able to revive people. He used that wit to make up for his lack of book smarts by just making Senku give him the revival antidote.
But, like, the thing I think was just kind of, like, extra was that he almost had, like, a sixth sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he
don't-
just knew when
I-
something was up with him.
What the
The
thing
thing-
I'd probably, okay, this is something I'm kind of hypocritical about. I don't mind
Oh, no.
like a main character, like a good guy that can read what's going to happen in the future because he's so smart, but I absolutely hate it when a villain is able to do it. Like Death Note, I hated the ending to Death Note so much because he's like, oh,
the
I actually
ending
knew
to
that.
Death Note was
Yeah.
terrible.
I was like, oh, he actually knew that, so he replaced the paper. And I'm like, there's no way you ever would have known that. There is no way in the world you should have
Again,
died.
Yeah. Going off that, like liking like characters sitting in that moral gray zone, I liked both Light and L, because neither of them felt like fully like a good guy or a bad guy to me.
They also
both
had the unique kind of like they
Yeah.
were actually friends
exactly.
thing going on, whereas Nier was like he doesn't even know Light, and yet he actually like still is predicting his every move.
Exactly. And they've said, like, in interviews afterwards, which they shouldn't have even said this if they were going to be forced to continue it, that L was still the smartest character in the series. So I could have lived with Light or L winning in the end and still left giving it like a 10, no questions asked. But with Nier and
It would've been
Mello,
an easy 9.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Light just killed Nier or whatever, like I would have been like, okay.
Yeah, I would have been. That was what I was kind of
gratification
hoping.
of seeing Nier dead could have just boosted the
That's
score
what
for
I
me.
thought was gonna happen. Yeah.
I did too, because once you kill L, knowing how much people liked both characters, I just didn't see them doing what they did with Nier like that. I guess it was just they said at the start, people who use the Death Note never get a happy ending. But they also kind of contradicted that with well, no, they didn't contradict it, because Light's dad never actually used the book. He just made the deal for the Shinigami eyes.
You know, I need to rewatch that because it's been so long. But even as like one of my first 30 anime, I was like, wow, this is kind of okay. This is not that. I mean, this is good.
It was
but it's-
really, really interesting, and I liked it a lot up until basically Nier was introduced.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Exactly.
like the first half, and the second half, I was like,
I have a lot of like random Death Note stuff chilling around in my room, mainly Light and L. Also a little Ryuk, I guess, but because I really do like the series, it's just like you guys were saying, it shouldn't have kept going after L died. I don't feel like.
you know,
It would have been fine if they kept it going if they had just killed Nier.
yeah, honestly,
Instead. And then they absolutely ruined Light's character, for me at least, with the way that he went out. Because he was
Yeah.
literally just a crybaby, and I was like, oh my god.
well,
Exactly.
that's what I mean. That's who he really is. He's like,
I don't feel
Yeah,
like
but that's why it
really
ruined the
is, though.
character.
He's just
for
like
me,
he's
is
someone
'cause it
that's
was like,
power
there's
hungry.
No way.
I don't
didn't
feel
like Light
that
that much, anyways.
I don't feel like that's who. Even if you don't like Light, I don't feel like that's who Light was portrayed to be before.
Yeah,
he
I
had
don't
made
know.
self-sacrifices.
Because
Up till
he
that
had
point,
made
he had taken
sacrifices. He
risks,
always
yeah.
handled everything with like a really calm mindset, and then
He
it's like,
took it
wow,
like a-
it
he
all
took
went wrong
yeah.
for him one time, and he completely has a mental
Are
breakdown.
you talking about when he's
kinda
facing
took
his
it-
death?
yeah.
Are you talking about when he's
Yeah.
like dying?
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna die
Yeah.
anyways. He's gonna die anyway. So he's like,
Well, he's gonna die
he realizes
anyway.
he realizes that
Yeah.
he's gonna die, and he realizes that he's actually a coward in the end.
But he had the chance. He had like this opportunity where he could have died at any point so many times, and took it like a, if I die, it's for the greater good. I need to do everything I can to stop that happening.
He didn't
But
actually
if
think
it
that he would
happens,
die though.
I've accepted.
He was
this.
too prideful. He didn't think he would actually die in any of these cases.
I mean, I think you're right to an extent.
Potentially, but still, it just ruined the character for me.
Yeah,
I agree.
It was just a side of him, I guess, I never wanted to see.
Yeah,
That's what it is. I think that's actually his character. It's just that he didn't portray himself as that because he was so prideful, and when he finally faced his end, his real self came out.
I can see that. Yeah, that's fair. It still sucked to see that, though. Like
And-
Vinny was saying, it's just not a side you wanted to see, especially
No.
after we had lost L. If L lost, I wanted Light to win.
You know what's crazy though is that for a show, I think it has a pretty weak cast for me, honestly. Even it's just that
I mean,
the
yeah,
concept
pretty
is
much.
so
It's literally
interesting.
the main two characters being Light and L, and then outside of that, it's all
I
pretty
like
weak.
Ryuk.
Bayuk is cool.
He's neat, yeah, but he doesn't really play a whole lot of a part, to be honest. He's just
No.
kind of there.
I mean, he said himself he's just there to watch and have some fun.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's kind of why he's cool, because like he was that.
And I will say I didn't like him as much as Light or L, anywhere near as much. But in comparison to Nier, I could have taken it a lot better. Mello was a lot more interesting. Nier just felt like
Mello
knockoff
was
L.
definitely more interesting.
I don't even
but,
remember.
like,
Mello-
I still
That was
hated
just
Mello.
M. That was just M,
didn't
right?
I didn't
Yeah.
like Mello.
Mm.
It's just at least Mello felt like his own character. Nier just
Yeah,
felt like
Nier
he
felt
tried
like-
to be L.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't
Just
care.
L 2.0, but he's better this time.
I don't care. Yeah, he's better this time. Better is a strong word for
He's
yeah.
he's I don't even know. This one's psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's literally.
Yeah, the way that he died was so stupid. That's one of those.
sucked.
That's probably how I was saying earlier. Like I don't like the villains having a sixth sense, even though he's technically the good guy. I hate that. That's like
It
the
also
best. That's
felt
the
like-
best example I can think of like how much I hate that.
Y'all
It's
can
just, you're introduced to him so quick, and then he just immediately somehow is way better at his job than L was.
Hmm.
and y'all can say what on the topic of Nier being the good guy technically. Y'all can agree or disagree on this one because I definitely think it's something you could pretty easily disagree with. I honestly didn't really feel like there was a good guy or a bad guy in Death Note.
No, it's either the guy
Not
that's
really.
killing a bunch of
I feel
people.
like L was
or
still.
him.
L never felt like a bad guy though at any point.
I mean,
No.
L was more like traditionally righteous, but they both had their own like ideals.
They
of
both
what
had their
was right.
sense of like justice and whatnot,
Yeah,
but
they
I still
both
feel
had
like
their own
L
morals.
was never at any point in the gray area. It always felt like he is right, but like Light might be right.
I mean, I feel like with that, L technically, and this is the worst he got, so it's really not anything bad. I think he broke some laws from time to time to try and catch him, which obviously doesn't
Well, it's
really
just
help me.
the thing is, it's like with the Patriot Act here in America. It's like, is your privacy worth like capturing like these criminals before they do heinous things?
That's fair, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean-
no, that's fair.
And on Light's character, I think I kind of did like him up until he started to kill innocent people that were trying, like, catching on to him. Like how he killed those cops.
Death Note
I
is
didn't
one of the
like
few
that.
series talked my mom into watching, and she said she had the same like turning point on when she decided she didn't like him.
Yeah. I mean, I know he's like, he thinks that his life is worth more than everyone else's because of what he's trying to do. So he's like, I have to get rid of these people. But just to think like that is,
I mean,
don't know, I didn't like
obviously,
it.
I'd probably disagree if I was the one in the position catching on to him. Like, obviously, I'm not going to want to get killed. But watching the series, I honestly, at least originally, it's been a long time since I watched Death Note now. But, like, I kind of just looked at it like it's for the greater good kind of a thing.
I never thought that. I think he just went way too far with it, and he was too full of himself.
Could have been my edgy phase, but I kind of sided with Light more than L.
If it
At
kept
least-
going on, he would have ended up being a horrible, like a villain. He would have been awful. He
Oh,
would have
yeah.
killed anybody
I
that
think-
got in his way. He would have
It
just
definitely
keep
went
getting
to
more.
that point though. It was basically like he was starting to get like consumed by his own power.
I mean, I know
Mhm.
from the start he said he wanted to become the god of the new world, quote unquote, but at least throughout the first half before he beat L. And I think it was honestly because of L, because
It
L
was
was
probably when he beat L that he realized like, oh, now there's literally nothing.
yeah. It's like I think L kept his character grounded. Like he was still getting an ego, and like you were saying earlier.
And on top of that, he was kind of friends with
Yeah.
L, even though he knew he was
Yeah.
his biggest enemy. And he also basically killed what could have been his best friend in the process. So that probably also sent him over the edge too.
I think that's just when he stopped being like a bit of a narcissist about it and went into full on like god complex. Like
Pretty much.
when he lost that like parallel to his viewpoint on things, that's just when I feel like he went over the edge. I don't know.
There's actually another anime that plays on that kind of they're your like friend but your enemy at the same time. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Which
But
one?
it's 91 Days.
I have seen 91
I don't-
Days. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think
you
I
know what
have.
I'm talking about then.
yeah.
Give me a
Vaguely, it's been a
second.
while. With
I
that
feel
one.
like those narratives actually usually end up being really good.
I agree. It's one of those things that's very easy to have go wrong if you get the characters wrong. But once you get the characters written well, I'm probably gonna like it.
Yeah, I really like the way that 91 Days ended.
Yeah. 91 Days had a much better ending than Death Note. Or a more satisfying.
Oh
at
yeah,
least.
for sure. It was really short, but it doesn't feel like it's short at all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And also, this is kind of off top. Oh, go ahead, Schultz.
No, I was just I was going Minecraft
sorry.
Villager.
Yeah, no. Since technically the theme of this one, or this podcast, is supposed to be our top 10, and we just talked about Death Note, I do want to kind of segue back to your top 10, Vinny,
Mhm.
and ask about a series by the same creator you have up there, as someone who
Oh,
had this in
Bakuman?
my top 10 for a while. Yeah, Bakuman.
I watched Bakuman like kind of on a whim because it was on Hulu, and I don't know what I was expecting from it, but it just sounded kind of interesting because they were like supposed to be creating manga essentially, and I was just kind of interested in that subject. And then it was just like the characters and like what they were going for with their lives and stuff. I don't know. It was like really motivational
Exactly.
and stuff like that. And I just really got invested in the characters and stuff.
I watched it because I liked Death Note originally and did not expect what I got, but I think I still probably like it more than Death Note.
Yeah, I need
Yeah,
to watch
overall, it also gets a
Bakuman.
full adaptation too, which is like great.
Very on top there as well. Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's so many shows that don't have full adaptations, and it's so sad. Especially short sports anime, especially sports anime. That's crazy.
There's also the fact that they create stories inside Bakuman that could definitely be standalone stories.
Oh, for real. I
100%.
genuinely
And
remember-
that's so cool to me.
Yeah, I had a friend named Nick. Still know Nick, but I got him to watch it around the same time I did, so we could kind of talk about it as we watched it. And I distinctly remember commenting on I don't remember exactly which one it was, but like the kind of like detective-esque one they had going on. I remember like commenting on, if this was a series, I would be just as interested in watching this one as I am this one, which was
Pretty
saying
much.
something because I was like really digging Bakuman as well.
Well, honestly, it's probably a testament to just how good like the writers of it were. Like,
Yeah.
that they could even create good stories inside their story.
And even then, like even
They also made an opening for like, oh, I can't even really say that. Jesus Christ.
Like,
It's technically spoilers.
I think what was crazy with the Bakuman cast as well was like most of the cast obviously was like obviously also manga writers and manga authors.
Mhm.
All the series they gave them, not only did they feel like series you might want to like watch or read anyway,
Yeah.
they also kind of felt like series you could really somehow like easily see like, yeah, I could so see this character writing this story. If that
Yeah,
makes
pretty much. Like you could almost see their motivation behind how they came up with that.
Exactly. It was just really well done cast wise. I don't think there was a single character I disliked in it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to watch that then, if y'all praising it so much.
It's 75 episodes overall, so I mean, get ready for
Yeah.
something a little long.
It's worth it though. It's
Well,
very worth it.
I'm usually not a huge fan of slice of life, so I guess we'll see though. Hey, if it's
Well, it's
if
not
it-
really slice of life. I don't know. It kind of is, but like,
I
I
usually
feel like
I usually have
usually
trouble
like-
getting through 2 cores of slice of life. So if this isn't like godly,
Yes.
then you're gonna see me give it a 5.
I want to say Schultz, and I won't swear to this because it's not like exactly like this at all. But based on Dr. Stone being in your top 10, I could see you liking it in the sense that like
I don't
I
know
don't
how
know.
those are related, but
they're
okay.
not really related.
it's
So I don't really see where he's going either. But like,
Yeah. It's like the fact that like even though it's not a shonen battle series, well I guess Dr. Stone could be seen as one. The hype moments of like when they're writing manga, I feel like are kind of parallels to like the hype moments.
honestly, kinda. You like, I kind of see what you're saying now. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
still get hype even though what's happening
Exactly.
isn't actually hype. You're
Like,
just so happy for the
yeah.
characters.
Okay,
Exactly.
I like
Yeah, that's
that.
what I
I
was
like
going
that.
Yeah. Like, I still feel like there are some moments you could get hyped for in their shows.
I like getting hype in anime. So.
Yeah.
Vinny, how are we doing on time?
I mean, I recorded a little bit before we actually started, but we're at the 2-hour mark right now. And we just hit it.
Well,
So it's probably about an hour 50 or something.
guys, we've been through all of our top 10s. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about before we wrapped it up? Anything you guys wanted to say specifically involving someone else's favorite shows?
Watched every anime except Sword Art and Danmachi that was listed in this video.
That's cold, man. It's real cold.
Only facts. Mostly because everyone's already seen Sword Art and Danmachi's mid.
I wish I could say the same thing about one of your shows, but all your shows I've seen are pretty good. For Vinny, I don't know about you, Colin.
No, that's fair. When I was joking about Sword Art Online and Danmachi being on our list, like way back at the start of the podcast, I quickly glanced at Vinny's list and was like, no, there's not a like objectively kind of even iffy series I can use for this example. I'm just gonna have to signal us out.
Well, my least
The
favorite
lowest
show,
one on my top 10 would probably be Working, in terms of like the score and how people thought of it, like outside of me, but I still think it's like the best rom-com I've seen. So
My favorite rom-com's still Oran.
I was gonna say that's probably the show I'd give the. Never mind, I'd give High Score Girl. That's probably my least favorite show out of all the 30 we have here. Is High Score Girl and Oran Host Club. Out of all these that I've seen, those are my two least favorite out of all.
I
the
really
stuff.
liked Oran personally.
I did too. I liked it too, but I gave it a 7.
I
Oran
gave
is
it an 8.
good. I have it as a 10.
I don't know what I was expecting from it either, but like I just watched
No,
it. and
I
was
had zero
actually really
expectations for it, so I was really surprised. I was happy.
I
with
think
it.
that's why I liked it as much as I did as well. Like, I had a friend recommend it. Didn't think, because this was like back when I had first started. So like all I'm watching right now is like, well, I had watched Sword Art Online and Death Note. So like I'm very clearly like sitting here watching these action series. And then comes some like my friend who got me to watch Sword Art Online, like, yo, you should check out Oran. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna like this. Next thing you know, I leave and I'm like, yeah, no, I like that just as much as the other two do. I mean, it's held up, honestly, probably better in my top 10 list than Death Note has, obviously.
Yeah.
Just barely under Sword Art. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Oran was really
Sorry.
good. No, I liked the cast. They had funny interactions.
One character I didn't like was what's her name? Renge, something like that, right?
Hold on. Okay, you're not allowed to not like her because she has the same name as the girl from hold on. Wow, I already forgot.
Can't even remember.
Shut up! I haven't seen it in a long time. Non-Biori.
Non-beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Renge with the pigtails and the white hair and the aura.
Yeah, no, sorry. No deal. I didn't like Renge. She was annoying.
I don't even know who that is in your show, but she's amazing and she's top 5 lollies. So shut up.
Top 5 lollies. That's not going to sound incriminating.
Hey, I'm allowed to appreciate good lollies. Not in that way. Wow, you guys are trying to make me seem like a pervert here.
Seems like you're kind of backing yourself into that corner.
Nah. Hey, listen, we got. Okay, I don't know if you can count Hestia because
Well,
she's kind of not a lolly, but let's see, we got.
oh, no. It's like y'all are trying to back
Okay,
in the
maybe
corner.
I shouldn't. Maybe I
Going
shouldn't
down
go.
to top 5.
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't have a top 5 actually.
Yes, we'll just leave it at that.
I haven't
Bro,
said my top 5 multiple times.
Next episode of the podcast is just going to be me and Vinny interrogating Schultz on his lolly list for 2 hours.
Next episode we could just talk about like
Naruto.
favorite characters.
Oh,
Yeah.
that works, but Naruto.
I don't have any favorite characters.
I've got a
Well,
favorite.
I guess you got time to make a list.
I've got lollies. That's it.
No.
I've got Kana from Dragon Maid and Renge from Non-Biori and Shiro from from No Game No Life, and Shinobu from Monogatari. These are my
Schultz,
favorite characters.
God, if we go to record next time and we're posting our list again like we did this time, and it's all lollies, we're gonna have to cancel the episode.
Well, I guess it's gonna have
I'm
to be all
hoping to see
lollies.
people that aren't lollies, and hopefully not.
Is
I
Thorkel a
feel like it's
lolly?
gonna be all females, except for Thorkel, of course.
What about Escanor? Is he a lolly?
No.
It's gonna be all lollies, and then Thorkel and Escanor, and then more lollies.
Well, it's just like the entire start of the list.
I expected Albedo to be on there.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
I forgot.
Albedo's not even my favorite female in
Let me guess, Shout Deer.
Overlord. No, yeah.
Oh my god, really?
No, yeah, what?
No, yeah. Let's see. I think, honestly, my favorite character in Overlord would be Sebas. But after that, I'd like all of them. I'd give so many of them 10s. I don't even know. Shaltier would probably... She's my favorite female. Oh, Enri. Y'all haven't read the light novels, but Enri kind of slaps. And
I
she
just
got
wanna
her
point out-
titties out in the light novel too.
Whoa.
I just want to point out, Schultz is like, y'all are trying to make me out of some kind of pervert here, then immediately goes on to a bunch of lollies and go on to talk about a character having
I'm
her
allowed
tits
to
out.
like them. I don't like them
Okay.
sexually. I just think they're good characters and they're cool.
Okay.
Cool
Christ.
characters.
Alright.
Hold on, the succubus from Shinmai, New Sister
Jesus
Testament or
Christ.
whatever.
Oh my god.
No, she's not up there. She's
Stop.
not up there.
So we're just cutting out the last like 5 minutes or so, right?
No, raw uncut footage. That's all we do here.
Raw and cut footage.
Oh
No,
yeah.
we
Oh,
can't have
by the way, Koneko is the best girl.
DXD character.
Yeah, in DxD besides Zenobia.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but like, he's kind of got a point on that one.
No. Akino's the best character.
No.
It's at
She's
least
good.
three.
They're all good. It doesn't matter.
And then Zenobia.
High School DxD has so many
actually,
good
no,
characters.
Zenobia's great. Okay, I can agree with that. Zenobia's top tier.
She is. I love how like nonchalant she is. She's just like, okay, impregnate me.
I kinda-
Okay.
That's your standout. Okay, I guess my standout isn't much better. I just like her blue hair.
She does have
Yeah.
cool hair. She has a cool character design. I like.
Yeah,
There's
no,
so
that's-
many top tier girls in DxD. It's crazy.
Like, I think I've mentioned before in the dojo, I like dyed hair in real life as well. I'm 99% sure that comes from my weeb side.
So you
Like,
like the
at
blue haired
what's the thing?
females.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing as a kid.
Jesus.
It's just I watched anime, and now I'm just like, yeah, no, they have to have colored hair. It's like that.
Well,
Alright, that
this-
seems like a decent place to end.
yeah,
the
we're
pod.
obviously not talking about top 10 anime anymore. But
Man,
We did manage to stretch out top 10s over the entire pod, though. I'm surprised.
I wasn't planning on that, but I like to talk a lot, and we got to my
I think
stuff.
it's mostly because of Naruto.
Yeah.
Naruto ended up being on every single top 10 of ours. So
the only one
it kind of made
we had
sense.
across all three.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you don't have Brotherhood on yours because you're strange. I don't know.
And you don't have
Sure.
Dr. Stone on yours.
Well,
okay, I feel like
just
Brotherhood
don't
missing.
belong thing.
Dr. Stone's better than Brotherhood.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, end the podcast. Quick,
There's like 5 shows from last year that are better than Brotherhood.
Oh my god,
That's
stop.
crazy.
That's a cap.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay. Guys, thanks for listening. Go subscribe to My Hero Deku. Go subscribe to Sarcasm 317. I'm not even gonna pimp myself out because I don't
Go
post
subscribe to
anything
Weeb
anyways.
He's got future content
Yeah.
coming. Don't worry.
He's got a career.
Possibly.
He's gonna make a comeback.
Making a comeback after that Myth and Roid video. But like and subscribe it to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you want to see some more stuff. And thanks for watching.